Subtract teaser, my subtract
Right off
man.
the top.
Right off the
Man,
bat, man.
I need to learn to market myself like you do.
You know what? Yesterday, talking, and everybody going, hey, that's cool. You got Dave coming in and doing stuff. The guy knows, like a lot. He's been around our market for a long time. Nice things out there at the tennis courts. A lot of sports fans out there while I was playing. So we're talking a little bit. I don't mind talking to everybody while I'm stretching and warming up, but then I don't want to hear about the Dolphins and all that stuff. I go, hey, man, not now. Got to go out and get a sweat.
You're focused.
Yeah, I try to. What's so damn hot out there, man? And I'm trying. So the first thing you have to do before I get off the road here a little bit is it has been so hot when you play at 11:30 that you can't get caught up in the heat where you pace yourself like, oh, man, if I go too hard, I'm not going to make it very long. And I did that. I was doing that for a little bit, being lazy. And then I finally said, no, you just got to let it rip. And when you get lightheaded, I get lightheaded. I know that's it. I start to feel a little lightheaded, and I go, that's it.
I'm impressed you're out there in that heat playing tennis for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours.
Not 2.
Hour and a half, though.
Hour and a half. And my partner always feel like an ass clown because he says, you got any more in you? I go, you're a tough cookie. But anyway, we were talking about all your stuff, and some guys are going and go, what's the name of that thing? I go, I'm going to write that damn thing down, and so I can remember, man. Substack. What do we got going on, man? What's coming up?
Yeah, well, I just posted a column on Substack about the Dolphin rookie class. So some of the stuff we're talking about the size of it. They haven't had a class this big since '97. About the quality of it. They've never had 7 picks in the top 94. They've never had that pedigree of picks. They've had 6 in the top 70. Like
I'm writing stuff down
2020.
When he said that. I didn't realize 97. I thought we had some big classes. You only got 7 rounds. It's pretty impressive to get to that. And hey, they were picking up 6th and 7th round picks and looking for guys they like to get in here. So yeah.
So they need to. There needs to be a story in training camp. I think people have been so gotten accepted to having draft classes. Some good players, some guys who productive, but we haven't had a training camp story that stuck since when? No,
it's been a long time.
Since Jason Taylor. I went back. Jason Taylor, I wrote columns on Jason Taylor in training camp. I looked him up from 97. He sacked Brett Favre, sacked John Elway the first 2 preseason games. He had 4 sacks. Jimmy was talking about him. The players were talking about him. People have forgotten that can happen. There actually can be a buzz story of a rookie in training camp.
Yeah.
And now,
and they had a few guys.
Those are special players, obviously, the Hall of Fame players.
No. End up being one of the great pass rushers in history of the NFL. It is. It's really interesting to step back. So my cousin, who's been really frustrated in California, I love him. He's a little bit younger than I am, but he's a hardcore sports fan. His dad played professional baseball and was a big part of my life growing up. So he's been a Dolphin fan, obviously, for a long time. And he goes through the whole thing of just frustration and looking, because everybody, hardcore fans, are like, what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong after all these years? And there's so many different things, and we've tried everything, right? We've tried to load up on high picks through a little tanking. We've had big free agent classes where we made the big splash to go out and get the biggest name guy, who ended up, a lot of people don't have great things to say about him. Our old Detroit Lions defensive tackle was
Ndamukong Suh. I thought that was the right move, but
I did too. But I didn't know.
Just didn't work.
And then
like everything else, it didn't work.
Well, and then he comes out and says, "Yeah, I could have been a better team." Like he he admitted he was a selfish. And then all the guys that played with him are coming up to me. I've said this a little bit. It doesn't matter, but it's just one example. We get a guy, we pay him a lot of money. They have a talk with him like, hey, we need you to be around in the offseason. It's important for the young guys to see. And he did it for a while, and then he started, I don't have to, and I got business. Remember, he was always working. I'm sure he's a very wealthy guy and stuff, but he was a freelancing king, man. He was about his own stats.
That's exactly right. Yep.
And he killed one guy who spilled his guts to me one night at a high school football game. I'm not going to say who it was. He's still in the league, and he was with me. He loved to go to high school football games. Well, when were we going to tonight? He goes, I'm going out and recruiting for LSU. Teaser. So he'd go and he go, what's that dude right there? I go, he's a 4-star. Right now he's going, he goes, I'm going to talk to him after. I'm going, dude, you do whatever you want. I said, and so, but we got in this talk and I was like, wow. Yeah. And so we've done that, and that hasn't worked. Remember, we got a wide receiver who came in from Pittsburgh that thing was a disaster.
Mike Wallace, yeah.
I mean, so we've tried different things. We tried the big splash, and those guys, remember, he and Ryan Tannehill couldn't get on the same page. They couldn't complete a deep pass in practice, let alone a game.
It was so frustrating by the end of the year.
Well, we didn't work together enough, and when I did throw to him, he was running half speed, and I was like, I don't want to hear friggin'. It's just it's become the Dolphin thing, and then the draft classes. You're right, Dave. We've become numb to having great classes. So there's two takes. Well, the GM's not doing, and by the way, a lot of cases a coach and the GM are pointing fingers at each other, especially when it gets down to the end. Like, well, he's not getting me good enough players, and the other guy's going, he won't play him, and got him in the wrong system, not using him the right way. This stuff's been going on behind the scenes, and especially when he gets down the end. Look at the relationships were torn apart at the end of last year because everybody saw it coming.
I was told by a coach once the fracture had started with the GM, and he goes, I look up there and I see that GM sitting with Steve Ross during the games. I know what he's saying, that we're not putting him in the right position and all that stuff. And I'm saying we need better talent.
Yeah. So that would be my point back is, and I've had this talk with the great ones, and look at the great ones. You're going to put them in any system and they're going to be good. I totally agree with that. Now, listen, certain guys need to be in certain offenses or defenses to have some success, but the great ones, you can put them in anything and it's going to work because they're going to be great in anything. 3-4-4-3, 3 wide, 2 wide, double tight, 2 tight, whatever your formation you're going to put out there. They're going to be great players. So anyway, a lot of people trying to figure this out. The one thing I like is we cleaned it, GM and then head coach, and do what you got to do. We're not telling you to keep one guy on this team. It's your decision. We left you a financial mess, but we don't care. If you have to clean it, if you want to keep it, whatever you want, but we're a mess, and at some point we have to pay the bank back because we're a disaster. We let it get way out of control. We went for it. It didn't work, and now we got to pay, and we're going to have to tell our fan base this in a roundabout way, and that's what they're trying to do right now with this whole thing. But at the end of the day, fundamentally, goes back to the draft first. Fundamentally, it goes back to the draft first. And the GM's got to get the best players. The coaches got to coach them up. These two are definitely on the same page. Hell, they almost look alike. They almost look like they're brothers. They're on the same page. Given it a chance. Now, the problem is, I have noticed, and you've noticed, and Bo's called me 19 times about it. He goes, man, people like, he goes, did you mention like patience to a couple of guys? I go, yeah, man, you have to have patience because there's going to be some growing pains. Growing pains, 26 years, 28. People don't forget the years. Been forever. What are we, the Cleveland Browns, the Lions? What are we doing? And I get it, man. And you can't get mad at those people.
They've earned their scars.
They've earned them. A lot of them, and I always love it. Some of them have given up their season tickets. They haven't given up how they feel. They're still watching the team. They're dying to come back. Give me a reason to come back. Give me a reason to get excited and have my family and talk about it instead of here we go again, the same old Dolphins. So anyway, it's going to be interesting, and I am looking forward to seeing what these guys have. I got yesterday. I had somebody else come up to me. I had a weird day. I was out a lot yesterday. I left the house after I shut it down a lot of days where I don't see anybody. I come in and do the show, and the only one I might see is one neighbor, and even our houses are spread out. I don't see my neighbors that much, but it's just me and the wife usually. So, but yesterday, I had somebody come up to me and say, "Hey, you know, you're getting on Omar and some other guys about, you seem a little negative about everything." And I've had a few comments come in, "Oh, you're being way too negative about the team." I said, "Listen, man, when I talk about edge rushers, wide receivers, cornerbacks, safeties, did I say edge rushers? You just don't have any experience, and not only experience, but you don't have a lot of production. You look at your cornerbacks as a group, as a whole group, not a lot of interceptions. You look at your top wide receivers, and Washington's the top guy with 46 catches, but didn't have a lot of them down the field. A lot of them were behind the line of scrimmage. Tolbert and Atwell are coming off down years, had big years in 24, but not great numbers last year as receivers. Now, they both had really good 1 and 2 receivers for the Rams and Cowboys. In fairness, they threw heavy. Both of them had, two of the best combination of receivers on both those teams. So I understand it, but their numbers are way down. Tolbert had 18 catches. Atwell had 6. Had 6 catches. And Atwell out of Northwestern High School might be a guy we have to have in there. And then we got all these rookies, and they've never seen this. A new level for them. So when I was going through it, and then I just stopped, and you're trying to explain it, and Dante Trader's like our number 1 corner, and he was mixed in there with a bunch of veteran guys last year. So there's not a lot of experience at these positions, man. So that's why I said coaching matters this year, and you got to coach them. They're going to have some growing pains. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to get smoked. They can't lose confidence. You hope you got guys that don't go into the tank, and because we've had a lot of guys go into the mental tank and not be able to get out of it, lose their confidence, which is the worst thing that can happen. Edge rushers, I don't know what we have. I don't know what to think. I've got guys in my life that just don't see an upside to Chop. Just think he's too stiff and can't get off. He's got a great first step. He's a great athlete. Everybody's admitted, he looked great, running and stuff, but
he was a combine king.
So we got to find out if he, new guys working with him. It's been looks like kind of a big project for the coaches. Talked about we got to get more out of him, and in year 3, you can go through this whole thing, and look at it. So, hey, we just got to sit back, grab our popcorn, and see what we have. But we are going in with a lot of unknown with all these young guys. Our corners, and now we get this news, and I wanted to get to that this morning, is Storm Duck's still not ready to go. We're getting ready to start it. And again, everybody's ACL is different. 9 months. It's been 9 months. He got hurt October 26th. Honestly, I look at 9 or 10 months, and because some of these guys come back so fast. And I get it, man, sometimes. So he got put on the PUP yesterday, along with Baker, another guy, both defensive backs. I don't know. Does this mean they're going to add some more guys? Maybe they'll go out in the market and see what's out there and do it. But right now it's Juju Brents, Jason Marshall, Ethan Bonner. That's
Chris Johnson, the rookie.
Chris Johnson, who's going to start for sure. Thank you. But not a lot of experience there. Injuries, a lot of injuries, not. So anyway, it is we've been saying it's a great opportunity for everybody. Hey man, I'd love to go in there as a rookie right now going, all right, this guy's been around for 3 years, but I don't see anything to scare me. He's been injured and not a lot of production. Hell, let me have it, right? That's the way the whole team should think.
I think they're back in 2019 again, where the whole roster needs to be rebuilt. The difference is you don't have the front office saying we're tanking and the coach
I
saying
agree.
we're not
I
tanking.
agree.
The
I
coach and
agree.
GM have
On
this
the same.
on the same plan. They got the blueprint. And the model, as I've said, is the Patriots 2 years ago, where they had an empty roster. They brought in a rookie quarterback, some other rookies, won 4 games, didn't look good, but they looked like they had a future. And
They looked like a future with Drake May. And
yes,
boy, he did not disappoint in year 2.
that's sort of what you want to come out of this saying. Okay, I see the future.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting one, and we've I personally have had a lot of time to look at it and know some of the guys, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do agree. I do feel better for the first time in a long time that they cleaned house. Sometimes you just need to clean it
They
up.
cleaned
man.
house and they put it in order with other with
Correct.
They
Starting
rebuilt
with the
front
GM and head
office.
coach, right?
They just the contracts, the people they kept, the veterans, the Jordan Brooks deal, the Aaron Brewer, Devon Achane, the self-scouting of this roster that's been one of the problems. Self-scouting. Look at the guys they've lost. Andrew Van Ginkel is a prime example of guys so self-scouting, cleaning. There are things to be optimistic about. It won't be the record this year, though.
We come back. I had a lot of talks about that. The second part of this, what you just brought up, is a good one, because we have had some really good players get away, and they got a lot of money. We got a guard and a defensive tackle, got a lot of money. And by the way, we didn't hear much about either one of them because they're both injured last year to get to play. But anyway, they were good players there, and then we got where we couldn't afford to keep them. Anyway, tell you what, it's funny we're talking about injuries, because I do want to talk about Baptist Health South Florida this morning and their great sports medicine program that they have put together. That has just been fantastic, man. One of the tops in the country. It really is. Where do the pros go? I get it all the time. And Inter Miami, the Heat, the Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, a lot of those big surgeries are being done by those doctors, man, especially when it comes to the knee. They got a knee team of doctors, literally, I'd say 5 or 6 that, and I have buddies call me and go, hey, who do you recommend? I go, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's 5-star across the board. Which one sounds good? Who can I get in to see? Well, they're all busy, but listen, we got great doctors: knee, shoulder, foot and ankle, hand specialist, back specialist, hip and knee replacement doctors, 3 or 4 hip and knee replacement doctors. Yeah, I guess you probably know as you get older, you're seeing it and feeling it yourself. And hey, with great facilities, all-star lineup of doctors, team doctors, man, you're in great shape. You're in great shape. Never have to leave to go see out of town. And, I got to go see it. He's the best. Well, I'll tell you what, these guys are pretty damn good. And then you look at facilities like Doctors Hospital in Coral Gables, Hard Rock Stadium next to the training facility, and 595 and Pine Island in Plantation. The pineapple is alive and well, man. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day for all of us. Get back out playing the sports you love the most.
5 This report is brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach, where the fun never stops and the parking is free. The Casino at Dania Beach has it all. Enjoy new exciting promotions, the hottest slots, great shows, multiple dining options, live poker, and simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the Casino at Dania Beach.
Your favorite shows, the games of your favorite South Florida teams. We've got them
right here on the Q, baby.
Catch us on FM 104.3 or listen to WQAM on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. Don't miss a thing.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday. Hey, remember this as you're getting up this morning. Nobody can mess up your Friday, man. Nobody. No matter what you have, don't ever let anybody mess up your Friday. I love Fridays. Friday's one of my favorite days. It really is. I love coming in, working on Fridays. I try to work on Friday. I do like a Friday.
What do you got going on this week? I mean, because the weekend's following.
Usually
I'm working weekends, so Fridays.
Yeah. No. I'm I don't really have any plans. Try and play as much tennis as I can while I'm still able to run around and play singles. And I got a good group of guys to play with, so that's good. And I play a game with my son on the weekend, so I get a little bonding time with my son and usually get an ass whooping at the same time, but that's okay.
This will be one of the last empty weekends before now. Assuming you think preseason is
this
something.
This can be it for me because next week we're going to start hitting it hard with everybody starting Wednesday. Those guys will be out as a full team and jumping into this. And one thing won't have to worry about at camp. We got a lot of other stuff to get to here, too. I know LeBron James stuff is still out there, and we're wondering where this thing, when it's going to pop. And we'll give you the latest from some stuff from yesterday coming up here in just a minute. Marlins back home for the first of 6 games. By the way, boy, they tried to empty the tires, man, take all the air out of the friggin' tires over 9 games. Somebody would told me they were coming home damn near 500. I was like, what? I
don't think they've even named a starter for
No,
tonight.
they haven't. I looked this morning.
And that sort of tells you.
Well, you are old school.
The shape their rotations in.
You are old school baseball.
So are
man.
you. You're looking up the starter. I want to know who could possibly stop this.
Max, hurry back, man. How many days are we into the 15-day here? They just don't have a lot of depth. I mean, and a couple guys go out, and now that covers up for a couple guys that have been playing a lot that haven't been productive, and you got away with it when everybody else around you is hitting, and every move you make, and there for a while, everything the Skip did worked. Really, I mean, he was on a roll, and then you lose a couple of guys, and a couple of guys get nicked up, and the old production from the top down is really, really slowed down. But just wanted to say with camps getting ready to start back up next week and full go with everybody and get a chance to see where everybody lines up and then you know what, man, for the first time in a long time, you now have to pay attention to every number on that team, because I've never seen where you could say the 70th, maybe the 80th guy on the team. There used to be 20 guys. You would just go 20, 25 guys. You go, they're just camp guys. Absolutely not good enough. Never seen anything special. They're just here, And by the way, some of them used to get replaced during camp because the coach would go, he's not what we need. And I go, okay, hit the waivers, hit the off-season football league, what was out there, and they go from there. But this thing truly, like I've never seen before. Like, hey, man, even if you're a rookie free agent and you didn't get big money, you got a shot. Go get them.
They're open for surprises.
They are.
Anybody.
They are.
You could probably, and you've done this, you could pencil in who the starters are right now, who they expect to be the starters, but they're open for any surprises to change that.
Oh, I got a pretty good idea. I would say 70% of who's going to line up, which is a no-no out there to say who's lining up with the 1s and 2s. But you got a pretty good idea. I mean, they got depth charts out. You look at Miami Dolphins and they have stats from last year. They have all this, and they have depth chart the way it looks right now. And they kind of pencil in and mark it a little different mark, a little color difference if the guy's injured. But I got to tell you, Storm Duck not being ready to go, on the PUP is 9 months. It was, I believe, late October of last year. He got hurt, got an ACL. And you do the months. You really have no life when you start doing it. I realized.
I was going to say your count. You're.
I did. It's 9 months. Yeah. And it's like, damn, I was hoping he'd be back. And so we're going to have a few guys jogging on the sideline here and not ready to go. And I get it, man, cutting and running full speed and going different directions and the old knee, especially ACL. It'd be one thing if you're saying, hey, you can jog now and you can just go straight ahead. But you're talking about great athletes that go every possible way and worried about those guys getting hurt.
Yeah, if you're talking cornerback, I don't know, mid-season when they have a couple guys hurt, as typically happens at that position, then you get into the depth, and we don't even know who the starter, are the starters. Tutu Atwell,
Juju Brents.
Yeah, is he going to stay healthy this year?
I don't know, but if he is, he's starting.
He showed.
Oh no, he's
signs,
a big, strong guy, man. He is.
But all I know, and you brought this up a couple weeks ago, they play 9 games against the top 10 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They have
on that list.
On that list of ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks, there's 9 games. So
starting with Patrick Mahomes, our first home game, and he will be back. I'm not a doctor and I'm not playing one, and they did a big thing on Patrick Mahomes. What do you think the chance that Patrick Mahomes is going to miss games, period? If there's ever been a guy in this league that's old school, well, there's 2 of them. The guy plays in Buffalo and guy plays in Kansas City. They put that guy in the blue tent about 20 times last year. Josh Allen, remember he's taking hits and he got up shaking his head, and I go, oh my God. He's shaking his head because he's a little lightheaded right now. He got a little concussion there of some kind. He goes in, he comes right back out. He didn't miss a play. He goes in and tells the doctor, shut up. We have to do this. I'm fine. Now, I'm going to get out there, okay? I'm fine.
When you think
and Mahomes too,
we talk about Dolphin frustration. There's my frustrations. They could have had Josh Allen. Now, Kansas City was the only smartest one to get. You're not going to do this.
I've done it. I've had it.
Like when I hear these lists, I think
you see where Buffalo started that year, and they worked their way up through trades, and they're on a mission. Then I find out from people. We were there. We saw them
in Wyoming.
We did. We went and watched them.
Sitting next to them.
Sit right next to the Buffalo people.
The Buffalo Scout got promoted to the Giants general manager. That's how smart that decision was looked at.
Well, anyway, and they just slowly moved up and jumped over everybody. Jumped over to number 7.
Yeah, they started, I think, 12th, and they moved. They figured the Dolphins would take them. It was 10th. Or somebody
small school,
but the Dolphins
didn't have a high completion.
Wasn't accurate.
Well, he had nobody to throw to.
He had nobody to
throw
to.
Great job. He had school teachers. He was throwing to school teachers. I called them out. When football's done, they're going back to being PE coaches and school teachers, and that's kind of what we say. Nothing against. I love our school teachers. Don't take that the wrong way. But Josh,
Anyway, we talk about fans' frustration. There's a writer's frustration because you could be covering somebody who just lifts the whole franchise, and maybe they got a guy like that now. They certainly like him. So we'll see.
It's hard to do, but we have to let go of the 26 years. And by the way, I mean there's been some we were here this morning. I go, man, there's been some classics, and I know they're over there going, can we just start fresh? Yeah. We weren't around this. I can hear GM.
Yeah, I don't put any of this pressure or run on these guys.
We had nothing to do with the last 26. We were young guys.
And not only them, people under them, there's very few left. I'm not talking support staff, but I'm talking in decision-making capacities. The assistant GMs.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys were cleaned out. They were here as long as the guy you don't want to name anymore, but they were here over 2 decades, and they're gone. So it was a big house cleaning for the first time by the Dolphins. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Well, listen. Fortunately, sometimes you have to bring up the past to hit the future, and I've probably done that too much. But anyway, We got a lot more stuff. Marlins open up 6-game homestand. Whew, man, 9-game losing streak. Trying to stop it tonight with the Padres in town. We'll be telling you all about that coming up here. And on top of that, LeBron James. We haven't mentioned that. We'll come back, talk a little bit about LeBron and trying to get that 5th championship. And where is he going to end up? Seems to be this Anthony Davis. A lot of people think he's tied in, and he is seeing if somebody can get him out of Washington, especially Cleveland or Golden State. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about that from yesterday. But I'll tell you what, Heat fans, you're still looking good on this LeBron James thing. More and more people every day coming over to the dark side of Miami going, I got to admit, that's a pretty good group he's playing with. We know what he likes, and he knows that roster better than anybody. He knows this roster and every roster in the NBA like he's a general manager. He really does. He doesn't just go out and play. He's a student of what everybody can do. All right. Hey, I want to take a minute to talk about one of my favorite organizations here in South Florida, Chapman Partnership. Oh, my gosh, man. They do just great work for the homeless. They start homeless, and we try within 3 to 4 months to get them out of that and get them back out on their own. We got great success stories. They do so much more than just provide housing and a warm meal, really. And they don't turn everybody loose in the middle of the night to run around. And they're changing lives daily with all these great programs they have, caring support, all these wraparound services and programs that they offer. Even have babysitting services over there, while some of the families, about half the folks over there staying at Chapman Partnership are families. Just a little bad luck, and all of a sudden staying at Chapman Partnership. But the goals never change, man. Building a pathway for client success through their CP work programs, which have been really successful. Help them find a job, help them find a place to live. Man, that's what it's been all about. And look, it's a problem in our community. You see it every day when you're driving around. It's part of what's going on around this country, and you can make a big help for what we're doing at Chapman Partnership. You can be a big part of it with the great development work they're doing and all these services and programs and more people coming to Chapman Partnership every day. Any level of support is impactful. 3 to 4 months is the goal. Help them, get them back. We have a lot of doctors that donate their time. That really helps too. So great to hear. Bam Adebayos of the world donating their time and their money to be part of it with the kids that are at Chapman Partnership. We just got great success stories over there. If you'd like to join a really great cause, Chapman Partnership, go to online to chapmanpartnership.org. Find out what they're doing. They're doing great work every day. We got great stories coming out of there. You can be part of it. Thank you so much.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite.
Brought to you by the Casino at Dania Beach, where the fun never stops and the parking is free. The Casino at Dania Beach has it all. Enjoy new exciting promotions, the hottest slots, great shows, multiple dining options, live poker, and simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the Casino at Dania Beach.
We've made it easy to find us. Listen to WQAM on FM 1043 or on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Wow, that was so easy.
All of our shows are there live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed. Anytime.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday. Dave Hyde's in with us all day, Dan Day. Man, we got guys in and out on the show all week here this week. Got a lot of things going on here. Veterans report next week as the rookies, man, get caught up there. Get caught up and know your assignments. And here we go. Full squad next week and start to get a little bit of a look. Hey, I just want to warn you about one thing, Dave. You know, we were just talking a little bit about Substack and what you're doing with that right now. And it's been great, by the way. People love it. I see you getting a lot of people.
It's a lot of fun to do, you know, and write the column now. And there's a subscribe button on the column. You go to Substack's app or Substack.com or Google me and Substack, hit the subscribe button. And from then on, the columns will be emailed to you directly. Right to you. So you don't have to thumb through a paper or scroll a phone or anything like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it. So you're just telling me, look at, man, if you're going to do any of these greatest of the last 60
I'm
years.
going to get you involved in it, Joe.
Don't
the
call
greatest
me.
Dolphin.
I'll tell you who doesn't care. Get Bo Camper to do it. Bo's got no filters, no nothing. He'll just tell you what he thinks. And he played with a lot of those guys from the undefeated team. I played with 3 or 4 or 5 of them, but Bo played with a lot of them from a few years before. And get somebody else, whoever, or go on your own. Now you're gonna be lucky.
On the 50th anniversary team, you got jumped by
I got jumped good. Yeah, I got jumped. And by the way, it was great. I mean, Manny Fernandez, that he wasn't on that list because it was just the team, and I took Baumhauer, who I played with. But I wasn't, in fairness, I should have been more update on the undefeated team and those guys. I knew
Manny was a beast. Manny was a beast. He had 20 tackles against Buffalo, and
what do you have in the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl, he had 17.
Defensive tackles don't have 17.
No. And
I should have put him to the.
He should have been the Super Bowl MVP, but Dick Schaap, sport magazine editor, and he later became he was well known on ESPN. Dick Schaap was the lone voter, and he'd been out drinking the night before, fell asleep during the game.
You can't
woke
make
up.
this
No,
up.
You can't make this up. He woke up. He looked at the stat sheet and he saw Jake Scott had 2 interceptions and said, "Oh, he's the MVP."
But I give a lot of the teammates credit because a lot of guys said Manny should have been the MVP. Like they weren't worried about, hey, Jake's really good safety, great safety, but should have been Manny should have won that.
You could probably argue, but yeah.
Well, listen,
17 tackles
by a defense tackle doesn't happen
against a running team. You know, the Larry Brown of that team for
chewing
the
guys up. Yeah. So anyway, just keep me out. Whatever you want to do. Don't even call me.
We'll talk during the break, Joe. You'll give me the names.
Don't even call me. Like, let me ask you this question. You got to do 2 wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
Warfield's 1.
Well, maybe I'll do 3.
Hey.
That's like I'll play the nickelback defensive back because I've already thought the defensive backs, you got Sam and Patrick Surtain, but then Xavier Howard had a good run here.
X-Man did have a good run. X-Man was really good. I had no problems with X-Man. And he did. He was a really good player and had some unbelievable years. How
about running back? You got Zonka and Ricky Williams. Can you put both of them? There's similar.
No, you got to put one fullback, one running.
I'm not
jumping in. I'm not jumping in.
I'll get you involved, Joe. So
okay, let me ask you.
I'll be putting that on Substack this weekend, so that'll be fun to do.
I don't want to hear because you go back with the old school guys too, and you know there better be some guys in the 70s on that team. They're friggin' undefeated.
Here's the
And some
point.
of them didn't get a lot of awards back then.
All the Hall of Famers are in except at overlapping positions like center and middle linebacker. Then you got a choice. Then it's a tough choice. Or you could play 4-3.
I don't mean to, and I'm not trying to case any of the old guys are still up this morning and some of their families live in town, because I get texts sometimes from some of the families and grandparents or the grandkids will text me, hey, my grandfather was, and it's nice. It's nice stuff. But man, that there's no debate at center. And I know Jim Langer is really good. And I met Jim Langer one time, and I know how good he was. But there's not one guy.
I agree with
that. There's not one guy on that team that if they saw Jim Langer play and they had they had one of the great offensive lines of all time, what they did during that run, and what Dwight did in his shortened career with a terrible injury, and what Dwight did. And again, he's my draft class. So I have to say that because he was our second-round pick. Dwight did things unknown to centers that they've never done since. And I'm talking, you name all the great centers, and you go back and look at that 260-pound guy and what he did, and it was and by the way, it wasn't just me. It made me feel better when I talked to guys during that time, and some of the stories that have come out about guys calling guys after games. Smerlitz called Fred Smerlitz played for the Buffalo Bills. He won them really good defensive tackles. Yeah. And he goes, Dwight only got me on the ground 3 times. I had a good game. Hey, I did. He pushed me back, but I didn't fall off my feet because, I mean,
the game against the Bears, the undefeated Bears, and the big spotlight game back. Supposedly the whole offense was set up around him being able to go one-on-one against guys, and that opened up a lot of. Is that right? I mean, that's what
he hates that I exaggerate because he hurt his shoulder, and he strapped it and basically played with the one arm. Which his one arm was equivalent to everybody else having 3 arms that were strong. He just did things that you watch, and then other teams go, yeah, man, they're teaching that thing. I guess one of my buddies from Cal, he goes, yeah, they're working on Dwight blocking, they call it. I go, what's that? How to use your hands, like the way he does that to get around guys and used his hands. And he get a call occasionally for a hold because they're going, there's no way he could do some of the things he could do. Leverage, strength, and again, I don't want to turn this into an old guy show again, but
all right,
I did it yesterday. I got into Don McNeil, and I love Don and Dwight. And
Dwight will be the center. I agree that.
That's all.
But it's hard. One
I'm
Hall
not
of Famer over another.
I'm not getting into
what
any
about
more
defensive tackles, Joe? Let's.
I'm not doing that. You pick either one. You can't go wrong.
All right, let's move on to LeBron.
And honestly, I got guys telling me Tim Bowens. Those guys would tell me you guys don't give Tim Bowens enough credit.
You know who will say that? Zach. Zach is
hope Zach's up
right
going.
at the front of the line.
I hope Zach's up this morning. Zach Thomas up early with the kids, taking them to camp and going, man, you guys got it wrong, man. You guys got it wrong. Hey, this LeBron James thing here. So now they're saying that LeBron's kind of hanging out there, seeing if somebody, how much they want him, but he's Anthony Davis. We talked about this a little bit. Trade to Golden State or Cleveland would get him. That would turn. They're claiming this having a couple big guys on the team that he can play with. This front court stuff's really important to him. That's why he likes Bam and Giannis.
I was going to say the Heat aren't going to trade for Anthony Davis. They got their front court.
They're
fine.
They're not doing it.
Yeah. So
I'm telling you, if this thing goes down the way, more people yesterday going, let something happens with a trade. He's going to Miami. If it happens, and again, I'm holding. I don't want to be that guy going overboard on this thing, and all these guys ripping. If LeBron does come, because now I see guys starting to cave in that he might be coming here, and they're going, he's going. If he does, that's not going to be the last piece. That's not going to be the last piece. There's going to be more coming on the cheap, and it is going to be fun to watch. I don't know how good it's going to be. I don't know how healthy it's going to stay all year, but it is going to be. My eyes will be, hey, listen, You got that, and you add another Kachuk brother up in Broward County.
It's going to be a busy spring next year, which is good. There's no World Cup. There's nothing else. We're wide open for business for watching next spring.
Man, and I enjoyed the hell out of the World Cup. As a guy that's not the biggest soccer fan, I enjoyed it. Late to the party, but really, really enjoyed it.
I think a lot of people in this country feel the same way too. It was fun to watch day after day. You got used to the habit of who's on today, and the fun stories.
I learned a lot more about the sport too. I got watching it so much, having guys on, you just learn more, and it was a nice change up. Every 4 years, it was here. It was in this country. Made it nice and. Nice little run for Hard Rock Stadium over there to get some games. They got a great game that meant nothing, third place, and those guys they played. Mbappe, who I guess was not totally in on it, had a couple of goals and ended up being a lot of fun. All right, we got 7 o'clock hour coming up. Chris Perkins going to join us in the 7 o'clock hour. The Perk Man. Talk a little bit about the Miami Dolphins. And where we stand on so many different topics with this team and the makeup of this team and some guys looking to make a big splash. There's going to be some guys that play really well, just trying to figure out outside of number one picks, who's going to look the part, man, who's going to look the part during camp. Hey, I want to talk about Loctite. It's hurricane season, and Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing would sure like to take care of you. Their windows, Hurricane Category 5 rated. Loctite Impact provides 100% financing with zero down, no interest, no payments for 1 year. Old leaky roof? Well, replace your roof now and you can pay later. Plus, if you're going, I'm going to hold off on getting that new roof. Those can be expensive. All right. If that doesn't sound good, you need repairs done to your roof. And just to get through another hurricane season, we got that's part of the company too. The best part, Impact Windows, as low as $6 per month per window install. Don't wait for the next storm. Get the deal of a lifetime today. Keep your home protected. Whether you're in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, it doesn't matter. Loctite's ready to roll with you, man. They're ready to get going. So call them today, 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff that does nothing but answer your questions and get you started, man. Get you started with whatever part or the whole package if you need it. Go to LoctiteImpact.com. Loctite, ready to help you today.
This is WQAM-FM and HD1 Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. WQAM-AM Miami, an Odyssey sports station. The home of champions. Home of the 5-time national champion Miami Hurricanes. The back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The 3-time NBA champion Miami Heat. Miami Hurricanes basketball. And now, the new home of the 2-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
In Miami, we go to the beach for a little solcito, and when you want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. The Marlins look to end a 9-game skid tonight at 7:10 in Lone Depot Park against the Padres. San Diego has also lost 3 of their past 4. Dolphins cornerback Storm Duck and Darrell Baker Jr. have been placed on the physically unable to perform list, leading into veterans reporting to camp this coming Tuesday. The Miami Hurricanes football team will open preseason practice August 4th. A month later, September 4th, they open up against Stanford. And you also have Heat great Glenn Rice. He's going to be inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame's class of 2026. The guard played collegiately at Michigan. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Temperatures in the low 90s and late at night. Tonight, we will have a high chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
And we are back here for the 7 o'clock hour. Good morning to everybody as rookies. The Miami Dolphins finishing up this week. Next week, the veterans will join them, I believe, on Tuesday. They report Wednesday on the field. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
And then Dave Hyde with us, of course, here. And we got this LeBron James story that just continues. We were kind of watching day to day, and now I'm like, I don't know. Next week?
You thought for sure this week it'd be announced, right? I mean,
I'm willing to wait now. I'm willing to wait. Here, let me finish. He's earned the right to do. He's earned the right to hold everybody and make sure he makes the right decision.
But make a decision. Make a decision, please.
He's still really good. And he's good for business. He's good for our business. Selfishly, he's really good for our business. And so I want him. And I can tell you, they're already looking, just having Giannis and Bam together is one thing. Adding LeBron and his 21 points a game that he averaged last year back here in South Florida. I mean, I already see the billboard, man. Not that they even need to put a billboard up unless it's free. LeBron, Giannis, and Bam, you see that, right?
Big 3, 2, Big 3, the sequel. But the equal point to all the numbers is the Heat needs somebody to be the ball handler and the shot creator at the end of games. You know, someone to because you can't get the ball. Giannis isn't the type of ball you throw the ball to at the end of the games and he's going to, make a move and get a shot. That's not really who he is, but it is who LeBron is. And they really don't have anybody like that. So that's the role he'd be That's part of why it's such a great fit with the Heat. Now, LeBron's proven he can go to any team and fit into any team.
Yeah.
But his
even
role,
a 41.
If he goes to Philadelphia, they have 3 ball handlers. They have 2 guys. Jaylen Brown.
I get it, but I'm with you. I think no matter what, he's in a starting lineup and he makes things work.
Yeah, he'll make it work. But
he wants to be happy. He wants to do it with the way. And I think he has looked at this and he goes, first of all, I'm probably the other 4 guys are really good defensively. So
they'd have to have the best defensive lineup in the league.
Davion Mitchell, I didn't realize how good he is on the ball. I mean, he's looking to pick your pocket, man. Wiggins, everybody knows. I mean, there are teams that tried to trade for him, who gives you 15 points a night and does some of the dirty work. He'll cover and get after you. Everybody knows about Bam and Giannis. You got that's not bad for LeBron going, I slide right in there nicely. slide into that group real nicely.
And people say not enough. I still hear it, not enough 3-point shooting. Well, you never have enough, but they have the second, 13th, and 23rd 3-point shooting by percentage last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not too bad.
They're gonna add another shooter too.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, if I told you, I know I've already talked about this, DeMar DeRozan, or if you had to get Thompson, what do you think? Klay Thompson, what do you like?
If LeBron's not coming here, I'd want DeMar DeRozan, because getting back to you need someone to create a shot at the end of games.
Okay, but DeRozan's not going to shoot threes,
right?
So I'd love to see Klay Thompson here.
If LeBron's coming, I'd want Klay Thompson. There's a defensive player and a 3-point shooter. Think of Shane Battier at this point in his career. Did you
see all the? We forget about all the good 3-point shooters the big three had when they're together. You go back and look. I remember getting the games early, doing stuff for NBC6 early, and go out there, and we were out there all the time for those guys for that freak show that we had for 4 years, and watching the 3-point shooting and watching those guys knock down 8, 9 each of them. I mean, they were great. I'm talking about Ray Allen.
Ray Allen would go. I can just see him practicing.
Mike Miller was another one. Got out there early. Was a good shooter. Jones was there. James Jones, right? Is that right?
Yeah. James Jones. No.
Great 3-point shooter who's now with the Suns. Been GM with the Suns for a long time. They had some really good guys.
And Battier. I mean, that
was a fun show.
They had great roles. They filled the roles, and that's. If LeBron plays 2 years, then they have not just this offseason, but next offseason to tinker with, the players that they get and filling out the.
You know what roster. Though, man, they wanted to get this now. 81-year-old Pat Riley said now.
Well, they can contend this year with that.
Now, right now, with that.
The only question is, there some mystery team out there, because this has taken. I mean, there's no reason to keep going on and on other than. Or is there a mystery decision? Well, is retirement on the docket?
No, I think this. I do believe he's got 2 guys he really likes a lot, and he wants to see if somebody's going to trade for one of them. You don't think so?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. That makes as much sense as anything. But
I got to tell you, I trust you. Want to talk
but would
about
you
guys
trust
injured?
Anthony Davis? That's what I'm saying. Why would he wait for Anthony Davis in that?
Always hurt.
He's going to get hurt.
Always hurt. And by the way, he teases you for a week, has great games. He'll throw a 20-20 in there. 20 points, 20 rebounds. He'll block 3 or 4 shots. You go, oh, my God, I forgot how good Anthony Davis. Then, the highlights 5 days later, and he's limping off. Oh, my God, that's calf. He's out for 6 weeks. And you lose him. I just don't trust him. But LeBron played with him. He shouldn't trust him. He was hurt with him a lot.
But if Golden State was going to trade for him, wouldn't it be done? I mean, that's
Washington is saying they want to keep him.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I'm only staying if I get an extension. I got 1 year left. I need to get an extension. How in the hell could you justify giving him what he wants, close to a max contract, when he's always hurt?
You know how you justify it?
How?
You already gave a worse contract to Trae Young. So maybe you're just not smart in management. That's how it would be justified. They have
crazy.
I don't understand what Washington. That might be the worst contract in the league, Trae Young's.
Yes, I don't get it either. Although I went back, I mean, I forgot he had some big years scoring. I think he top 5 in scoring.
He's a nice player. Now, is he a franchise player?
No.
Is he?
No, he's not.
Is he? Would you give him basically a no trade contract? I mean, I don't understand what they're doing, but.
They're going to injure guys, trying to get them, see if they can get Fountain of Youth back with these guys.
But the East is LeBron did make a comment that all the conversations in the East this offseason, and he's right that look at all the teams. There's probably 6-7 teams think they could win it if things break their way.
I agree. Philadelphia's got to feel great getting Jaylen Brown. I will never understand anything negative said about a guy that just had the year and did for a team what he did without a sidekick. All but 19 games. And I'm hearing people talking about somehow bad-mouthing Jaylen Brown.
Well, let's start
I don't
here.
get
Let's
it.
start here.
I don't care what he says. I don't care if he said I hated every guy on my team. I truly don't care.
Why
He's
wasn't
really
the
good.
market better for him though? If he's that good, I agree with you. I was surprised Boston got nothing for him. I mean, they're taking on a similar contract for the next 2 years, so it's not like you can say, well, they're dumping a lot of money. So why wasn't the market better for him though? I don't get that. So I know all the analytics people say, no, he's not as good as you might think he is.
I'm having trouble with analytics. I know I saw the guy said he'd be the 7th best.
Yeah, I
stupid
don't understand
comment
that,
about
but
7th best guy. Well, what analytics could say he's the 7th best guy on the team? Like, who? How can you say that? All the shots he defends, all the things he does with his game. And by the way, he's a good shooter inside, outside. And his team won, 57 games in a regular season.
Here's what
19 without Tatum.
Here's what's out there in the NBA right now. Remember in the 2010s, the three-point shooting changed the league. This decade, the second apron in the salary cap is changing the league. And that GMs don't want to take on 2 big contracts. Now, the Heat have taken on 2 big contracts. But like Boston, Brad Stevens said what a lot of them say, we don't want to, we had to get rid of them because we had to be financially, flexible and this 2 big contracts takes us too close to the second apron.
That fan base can't beat, and they don't want to hear about money. First of all, fan base does not want to hear about money.
I don't want to hear about second aprons either. That's no fun to talk about.
I don't even want to know how to. Yeah, please save it. Save it for talking to the owner when you're talking to him. Save it for somebody else. Hey, we got Chris Perkins going to join us. Talk a little bit with the Miami Dolphins. We see from the Sun Sentinel. Can we still say that?
We don't say that anymore, Joe.
Chris Perkins, independent, working with us, going to come on and talk about the Miami Dolphins. All right. Hey, if you're looking for a truck this weekend, you're out starting to look around a little bit. Yeah, I've had a truck a long time. I'm a truck guy. That's all I drive. South Florida Chevy dealers would love to invite you down for a test drive and then sit down after you fall in love, because you will fall in love with a Chevy truck. There's nothing like them, man. Rugged, whether it's a Chevy Colorado, whether it's a Colorado custom to the ZR2, maybe you go to the Chevy Silverado family. I'll tell you what, if Chevy Silverado doesn't have a truck perfect for your lifestyle, nobody does, man. They got them. From custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV. 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices. Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency. Hey, you ready to step up and look at some trucks? How about a Chevy Silverado HD? Oh, no, check that. Choose from the powerful LTZ with the premium style and substance to match, or go to the biggest with the Chevy Silverado HD High Country, the big boy. Well, I'll tell you what, whatever it is you're looking for, a truck that works as hard as you do 7 days a week, to having the family truck, still need to get the kids around, or even having all the toys on the weekend to enjoy South Florida lifestyle. Man, we got a truck perfect for you, but we got to get you out to one of those 14 dealerships this weekend. You got to get out there and take a test drive. Take a test drive on one of those beautiful trucks and sit down and get the deal of a lifetime at your South Florida Chevy dealers.
WQAM broadcast.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday. Dave Hyde with us all day. Dan Day with us all the time. The man is a walking MVP around here. Chris Perkins, Dolphins columnist for the Sun Sentinel. I told you we're going to get that Sun Sentinel in there.
That's not coming out of my mouth.
Hey, Perk, you don't have to be part of that. How you doing, Perk? Chris, you there?
He hung up. I wouldn't
He
say
said-
the name of that paper, and he's boycotting us.
Hey, Perk, you there, bud?
I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Hey.
All right. I got my earbuds in. I don't know if I'm talking to you through my phone or earbuds, but let's do it.
All right. Listen, we're glad to have you. Hey, Perk, first of all, you guys been able to go out there and see the rookie stuff at all or no?
No. They don't let us out there for that. We'll see the full squad next week after the veterans report. But look, I'm looking forward to seeing both sets of players, right? The rookies and the veterans, because there's a lot to prove from both groups.
Have you ever seen anything more open from, I don't want to say 90 all the way down to the best player, but boy, it feels like it's 75 or 80 strong. They're going to have a chance to not only make the team, but you have a good camp. Hell, you might be playing a little bit on offense and defense. I've never seen anything like this group.
Yeah, no, it's wide open, Joe. It takes me back to 2019 when they had that rebuild going and you didn't really know who was going to be in what position. Now, the strange thing about this rebuild from that standpoint, a lot of these starting jobs have kind of been decided, right? We know who's going to be at left tackle, left guard. We know the starting offensive line. We don't know the starting receivers, but we know all the other starting positions. Defensively, we have a pretty good idea of who's going to start. Now, that linebacking trio, we don't know who's going to get the majority of the snaps, but right now we know who's going to start. So it's going to be a lot of positions, only a few starting positions I think are going to be open, but the competition for those positions is going to be fierce. And then the competition for the backups is going to be, it's just going to be wild. It's just a every man for himself thing as far as no allegiances to, this administration drafted this player, so we're going to keep him. I think it's a clean slate from that standpoint.
All right, Perk, no proven receiver, edge rusher, or cornerback. Give me a surprise name at one of these positions. Who's going to step up and a month from now we'll be saying, okay, maybe this guy's the answer.
You know what? I was disappointed to see that Storm Duck is going on the PUP list, right? The physically unable to perform list. The cornerback, the self-made kid, undrafted. I believe this is his third season. But, he had that knee injury that he was recovering from. I thought Storm was going to be one of the surprise people. As far as veterans, I think Juju Brents at the cornerback position is going to be somebody who emerges. He's a guy who has had injury problems, and that's always held him back, but a really good, productive player. I think Chris Johnson, the rookie, is going to be good at the slot corner, the 27th pick of this draft, the other first-round pick aside from Caden Proctor. And then, you know what, but Dave and Joe, I don't see anybody emerging at edge rusher. At receiver, you could see Chris Bell, maybe Caleb Douglas, the third-round pick out of Texas Tech. At edge rusher, I don't see Chop emerging. I don't see Josh Uche, David Ojabo, Max Llewellyn. And that's not a knock on any of those guys. It's just where they are at that position right now. I see potential at receiver and at corner. I think edge rusher right now has flatlined.
Let's talk about the wide receiver position because it's tied into Malik Willis and what's going to happen. And listen, he's going to need some help. I know everybody's got an opinion on Malik Willis already and what it's going to look like. And, coming off whatever happened, if you like the way he played, some people like the way he played this offseason and some didn't in his practices and OTAs and mini camps. But you got to have some guys get some separation out there. If I was to tell you that Tolbert, Washington, and Atwell would be your starters, could you see that? And when you go three wide, would that be your first three as from what you've seen so far?
That would probably be my first three, yeah. But look, I'm not sure they're going to get that so-called wide receiver one this season. I think this is going to be a multi-year project. And look, when you don't sign Tyreek Hill and you trade Jalen Waddle, there's going to be a come down from that, right? So that's what they're going to experience here. And, look, I'm with a lot of people. I'm a big Chris Bell fan. I think this guy could be the steal of the draft, not for the Dolphins, for the whole league. If he recovers from that knee injury, he's a guy who I compare him to Chris Chambers, just a big, solid, physical receiver with a lot of skills. He could really be good, but as far as these other receivers, I just don't see a whole lot. I think Devon Achane could be your leading receiver. Greg Dulcich could be number 2. But I will say this, Joe, and I've said this on another podcast that I do, The Fish Tank with Seth Levitt, the Dolphins' former media relations guy, and O.J. McDuffie. When you look at that ESPN top 10 quarterback list, the last 2 Super Bowl winners, Sam Darnold and Jalen Hurts, were honorable mention. They weren't in the top 10. And so I think that's kind of what I want from Malik Willis, is him to be the guy who makes those timely plays, but isn't necessarily considered a top quarterback. But by the system that you play, the way Seattle did it, the way Philly did it, you can still win a Super Bowl. So I'm not necessarily looking for Malik to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. To me, be Sam Darnold or Jalen Hurts and be in a good system, and you can still make it work. To me, that fits in with the receiver problem also, that the receivers fit into kind of a greater thing. You don't need another Tyreek Hill. You need somebody who can fit the system, meaning you've got a good defense, you've got a good run game, you've got an adequate passing game to good passing game, and good play from the quarterback. You don't need Hall of Famers at every single position. Get a good system and good players.
Perk, do we get more out of these 13 guys in this draft, or the 8 from the draft before, the year before, who all played a lot of football last year?
Man, I like that draft class from 2025. The problem is, and I've heard Dave Hyde say this about the defensive players, I don't know that there's a specialized thing that many of them have from last year. So, you look at those defensive tackles, and you do have some talent among Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips and Zeke Biggers. But do you have somebody who can really rush the passer from the inside, somebody who can really shut down the run? I think they're all still developing. So I think you have more potential from that 2025 draft class than this year, but I need to see these guys specialize in some things. You guys know I love Jordan Phillips and Dante Trader. I think those guys are going to be really, really good players for the Dolphins. The others in 2025, we could see some contributions. This year's draft class, Proctor, I'm still thinking I probably would have taken Reuben Bain over him, but we'll see how that turns out. The rest of the draft class, I'm very wait and see. I like the talent at linebacker. I like the talent at receiver that they got. I like Chris Johnson, but I'm very wait and see on all of those guys. Last year's draft class, they got on the field. They did some decent things. So I'm more optimistic about last year's class.
Let me just follow this up. Perk, we got 13 guys we drafted. There better be 5 or 6 guys playing right away. And I'm not saying they have to start as in the first play of the game, but their ass better be rotating in or offense or defense. I mean, you can't have 13 guys in a draft class with the lack of skill set and production. Nobody's done anything. They better be playing a lot of those 13 guys, or why do we have all those picks? And I mean early on. You agree with that or no?
Yeah. I agree with that. They've got to play, which I just don't know which ones have star potential. Look, Proctor and Johnson better have star potential, right?
Off the
bat. They were the 2 first-round picks. Right, they better. I'm not convinced that they will. Jacob Rodriguez and Trey Moore and Kyle Lewis, I think, are going to be good rotational players. Those are the 3 linebackers that they drafted. What roles are they going to have? I don't know. So that's kind of why I want to see how this draft class shakes out. I think that they got good talent, but I don't know what these guys can necessarily do. I don't know who the pass rusher is out of this draft class. Maybe it's Trey Moore, the linebacker. Maybe it's Max Llewellyn, the 7th round pick. But I just don't really know the roles for these guys at this point. Caleb Douglas, the 3rd round wide receiver, he's good. I think Chris Bell is definitely potentially better. But so I need to see how these guys are going to contribute. But I agree with you. They need to get in there and play 100%. That would be a huge disappointment if they didn't have 5 or 6 of these guys regularly in the rotation.
All right, Perk, you don't draft Jacob Rodriguez high in the second round to sit on the
play
bench.
Special teams.
Yeah, in order to play special. And you don't obviously don't sign Jordan
Right.
Brooks. He's not going to sit. Which leaves Tyrell Dotson. What is going to be? I assume he's going. He started his career as special teams. He might end there or a trade. Not that you'll get a lot, but you need a lot. So maybe you swap him for a cornerback or something. What's going to happen here at linebacker?
We have to wait and see, Dave, because I think joint practices are going to be a big measuring stick, and then the post-training camp cuts are going to be a big opportunity. So if you get in joint practices and you see Terrell Dodson can't do what you need him to do, or you see one of the youngsters does it better, then yeah, he becomes a trade candidate. But I don't think you see that until after the joint practices, and I don't think you get the real opportunity to pick up the talent until after the training camp cuts come. So it could be that he just, or not even Dotson, any veteran, just plays a lower role until you see, what you can get for him, what's going to happen there at that position. But really, I think at linebacker, that's going to be an interesting thing with the Jeff Hafley defense, because I think this team is going to do a lot of situational substitutions as opposed to that, just leave them out there. Big tight end, Kyle Lewis defends them. Pass rush situation, Trey Moore. First down run stopper, maybe that's Dodson, or maybe if you need an all around, maybe that's Jacob Rodriguez. So again, the roles, I don't know what these youngsters specialize in, but I think they're going to play. And I think that the Hafley defense, I'm really excited to see it, because I think it's going to be very situational, which,
yes,
let's face it, football is situational.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. There are going to be a lot of guys playing in different packages and different downs and situations.
Right.
Hey, you're a little slow mentioning our fourth pick. You just mentioned him late here. Caleb Douglas, first third-round pick of the 3. We don't talk about him much. He's 6'4". He's a big guy that can run fast. We know that. That's a good start. But I know we didn't get to see a lot out there, but they got to be counting on this guy just by where he was picked, that he's going to get every opportunity to be rotating in there, isn't he? Right in the start of September.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Malik Willis really likes him. Malik told us that at either minicamp or OTAs, he was like, he's a long guy, Caleb Douglas, and it kind of looks like he's not running fast, but that dude covers a lot of ground. So, and I after Malik said that, I started looking at Caleb, and I was like, you know what? He's kind of right about that. So that is something that Caleb does very well. He covers a lot of ground. So let's see what other distinguishing skills that he can establish in training camp that can get him out there on the field. But while he's not fast, he does cover a lot of ground, and that can be very beneficial. So let's see how Malik is able to use that. Let's see how Caleb Douglas is able to harness that and get an edge on defensive backs. But that was one of those real intangibles that Malik pointed out about Caleb that I hadn't spotted.
All right, over/under wins this year 4.5. You're going into camp. Where are you with this team?
All right, my big thing is the most important thing out of this season to come out. You got to know that Sully is the right GM, that Haf is the right head coach, that Malik is the right quarterback. That is your number one objective for the season. After that, win 5 games. That's what Flo did in 2019, right? After that horrible start, 0-7, those first 3 games, they lost. I think the combined score was 133-16. They got crushed.
Yeah.
And people are, they're only going to win 1 game. No, Flo got them in line. So bad team. I think 5 wins is kind of the standard, but it's not about wins. It's making sure you selected the right GM, the right head coach, and the right quarterback.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because I know you've been getting hit with everything like everybody else. Like, how many games? Everybody just wants to go, how many games are we going to win, right? You're getting a lot of that. And nobody's like, hey, you understand everything here. This is not a normal year, man. It's a year to clean up all the trash.
It's a year about the future. It's a year about the rebuild. Did we put the right people in place at the top? And then you can proceed. That right? Didn't New England do that? They go from 4 wins, but they knew they had their head coach, they knew they had their quarterback, they knew they had their GM. These things are done very quickly nowadays if you have the right people. Look at Jacksonville with Liam Cohen and with their 35-year-old GM. Is it James Gladstone? If you have the right people at the top, Jacksonville won 13 games last year. You can get things moving. So to me, that's the number one objective for the Dolphins. Make sure you have the right people at the top. If you don't, I'm not sure you can call this season a success.
Burke, thank you, man. Really appreciate you getting up with us early. How's everything else going? Was the social life good in the off season? Oh, you all right?
We just got to get an update here.
Our social life is good, man. I got no complaints there. I told y'all I was supposed to be going to Madrid, but that didn't work out. But I went to Costa Rica earlier in the spring, and that was good. It was the same friend with benefits. So, I'm good. Life is good.
Costa Rica.
Internationally.
Costa Rica, you didn't have to take anybody, man. That's a slam dunk over there, man. I got my cousin. Go ahead. I
went to the quiet part, the part with all the resorts and retreats and all that. Place where people go for these the hot yoga and all that. I was on the tame side. Yeah.
Okay. I got my cousin, man. My cousin back home. He walked in and said, "Hey, I'm getting divorced," and told her I'm done, and wasn't happy, and he was getting ready to retire, and he went to Costa Rica.
And he never came back?
And we can't find him now. we know he's got his golf clubs. And
did you see him over there, Perk?
He got a place, man.
Somebody looks like Joe Rose.
Well, I'll tell you what. We can't even get him to come back to the United States. It's so good over there, man. It's crazy. Perk, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk.
All right. Chris Perkins joining us this morning. A little bit. Really haven't taken that angle. Like, first year is about the QB, the head coach, and the GM.
Well, we've talked about the QB, right?
I got news for you.
You want to come out of this saying
GM and head coach need more than 1 year.
It's going to be a hard one to judge. Now, to Perks, what he was saying was, look, Brian Flores held it together, right? And that was
he went 5-4 in his last 9.
Yeah, that was a question with that roster and that team and all the he was saying we're not tanking and the front office was saying we're tanking. So
Brian Flores last game. Do you remember his last game that year?
New England.
They went in there and beat Brady on the last second in the end zone through a touchdown pass.
I remember Ryan Fitzpatrick carrying Devontae Parker off the field, or it was the other way around. I can't remember which one was carrying. And I also remember standing in that New England locker room afterwards. And
they were playing for something.
And Steve Ross and his contingent were on the other side of the locker room, and they looked like they'd just been to a funeral.
Yeah.
Because they said, what was this year about?
Yeah.
We were trying to get the number 1 pick, and we have the 5th pick overall.
Right.
So,
4 wins.
Yeah.
5th pick. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, we've got, 5 wins, right?
5 wins.
5 wins that year.
5.
Right. All right, I want to talk to you about the Marlins here. It's raining, but don't worry about the rain for baseball game tonight. We got a top on it. That's why we got the top. I see it's pouring outside right now, but I want to let you know Marlins are home, trying to bounce back, man, after losing 9 straight, got 6 games at home, and they're important games, and there's a lot going on. The Padres at 50-53 in town tonight for the first of 3. The Phillies will be here next week early on, so you can catch one of those games. I just want to give you a heads up on some things that are going on, though. If you're going out there, join the Marlins for a special Venezuelan Heritage Celebration presented by Santa Teresa as part of the T-Mobile Heritage Series on Saturday, July 25th. That's tomorrow. It's a 4:10 start. Each ticket includes exclusive jersey with a portion of proceeds benefiting Venezuelan relief efforts. Trying to raise money. They need a lot of help over there in Venezuela. And I know how important it is, that baseball team. They got some of their players from there. Then catch the Fighting Fish as they face the Padres. Get your tickets today at marlins.com/Venezuela. And that's not it, because also the Phillies, you got the 2 for 25 with the Phillies in town next week. 2 for 25, score 2 tickets plus 2 canned beers for 25. They also have the 4 for 44, my favorite of all time, presented by Pepsi. You get 4 tickets plus hot dogs, popcorn, and drinks, all for $44. By far the best deal they have. And so if you want to just go to marlins.com/tickets to get on out to the ballpark looking for something to do this weekend or early next week. The Padres and the Phillies in town. And welcome back, and good morning. Happy Friday to everybody out there. So we're waiting on LeBron James, see what's happening there. Feeling good. I think we're feeling a little bit better in this NBA city than 4 or 5 of the other ones right now. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, but it's all just conversation because nobody knows what LeBron's thinking. What happiness. He wants to be happy.
We're always happy.
He's always seems to be in a good mood, right? I mean, he's not a bitter.
I think he appreciates structure from the top down. I was thinking of the Laker thing. I think he'd fed up. He just was fed up. And it was this guy who was a head coach. So I'm not saying it was necessarily, hell, they were doing a podcast together before they both decided to join the Lakers, right?
Yeah, JJ Redick. That's right. The podcast is a big thing now. Look who he's doing podcasts with, and maybe that's a tip-off.
So I sense it's just me that he didn't enjoy playing with Luka. Would you agree with that?
I
think there's respect.
Because,
his offensive game, I think he respects, but I think everything else.
You can't win a title that way. You can't win a title when your best player only plays half the court.
And boy, the way he is truly a poor defender. He'll get rebounds and he makes great passes. He's got a great skill set. I get why you want him. Hell, remember we sat and we're going crazy when Dallas let him go because he is definitely. I mean, he led the league in scoring. What do you average? 34, 35 points a game. But I just sense that. And then he wasn't healthy when they needed him the most, the playoffs. And so I don't know, but I think he looks at from the top down and likes the structure. And he knows how these guys play. He knows how Spo coaches. He's got a good idea how he's going to be used. Then I find out they said yesterday Giannis and Bam have been in his ear nonstop, in LeBron James' ear. Like that's the first time I'd heard that.
I think they got to be, as much as we talk about Pat Riley, I think the players have to be. Look, Giannis is the best player when he looks at the landscape. I could join. That's the best player I can join, unless Oklahoma City's in the mix and we don't know about it, or San Antonio. But,
you know Draymond Green, who's apparently is a good friend of his, and they're all together and they do a lot of projects together, and same agent and all that stuff. That guy ain't gonna look. He's whatever you think of him defensively at this point in his career and stuff, but he came back yapping about everything, and I did all this, I did that. I'm not so sure LeBron was all aboard with all that. Of course, I went over to Puerto Rico to, not only play golf, but I wanted to work on him to be with the Golden State Warriors and stuff. I just think when Giannis and Bam, and they haven't said anything about it, they're not making a big deal going to the media and,
I wish they would, though, so we could hear a little bit about what's going on. But I would think Giannis and Bam have to be, they're the recruiters. Really, Pat's done his job. He said whatever he had to say, but the players now can talk.
Yeah. Well, he definitely wants to make sure Pat's like, hey, you sure you want me? Yo, hell yeah, I want you. Yeah, no, we need you, man. I'm about winning right now, and so are you. We have something in common. We're running out of time here for coaching and front office and playing. Let's get going on this thing. So anyway, it's we'll see, man.
What do you think this weekend, Joe?
I don't know. and yesterday, 2 people at the radio station go, "What do you think? How do you feel?" I feel good. I don't feel, not hearing 1 or 2. I'd be a little concerned if I was Cleveland. I don't know. A lot of people don't think he wants to play James Harden.
Would you?
No.
There's sort of a Luka light, right? Same concept. And the other part of that is championship organization. Cleveland doesn't have that in place.
They got a nice team. They do have
a nice team. Absolutely.
So he's built more for, that's home. We know that. He's been there twice. But boy, I am really like everybody else, man. I don't know for sure, but I'm starting to hear everybody ripping them for coming here and stuff. And so I'm like, well, that's a good sign. Everybody's starting to rip them.
They're already starting to hate the Heat again.
They hate the Heat, the media,
thank
whatever.
God they hate the Heat. We're back. You know the Heat are important when people start to hate them again.
You know, it's funny. If LeBron goes anywhere but here, it's usually fine. But if you come here, it's, all of a sudden it's like the big three, the original big three again. I'd love to see it get done and win a championship. Can you imagine that? It would just be. It's going to be fun to watch either way. Like, again, if you got season tickets, or you'll be watching that bad boy on 10, right? ABC's got
10
the
now,
games now.
And there'll be a show.
Well, they've been promoting the hell out of that.
Well, they're sort of unlocked now. They're not affiliated with ABC anymore,
Right.
And so, like the Giannis thing, they did it live. They had it live, and
right,
and,
which
and,
is that is the good part. The bad part is on the weekend trying to find events that national ABC goes, you can't have that, and it goes to Fox. Goes to our Fox affiliate down here, WSVN. And it takes a few seconds to figure it out, what's going on.
It takes me a few seconds to figure out where everything is these days.
I'm just wondering,
where's which movie did I watch that on? What series? Oh, let's watch a series. What show? What station
I'm just
was that on?
wondering in the big picture of things. I know my wife likes ABC News local, so I want to say that because she does watch. I don't, but can they make it long term? Not being, that's a tough one, man.
Not being affiliated?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about the business.
I don't either.
They can or not, but I wouldn't.
I know they had it. You could tell they've had a lot of new faces, though, a lot of new reporters and stuff. A lot of attractive people. But what? I don't know, man.
Whew. I don't even know what shows, to be honest, they have on there now.
I don't know either.
I
get confused.
I'm not good at remembering what station.
I do too,
which.
and sometimes I got to go to ABC, and I go, oh yeah, no, go to the other ABC, and you're like, okay. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it sure is nice to have those games locally on 10.
I do like
fantastic.
Will Manso.
Everybody likes Will.
Manso,
Will number one, man. That's it. Love Will Manso. Everybody does. He, he's done fantastic, and he's great on everything that he does, and upbeat.
He was explaining to me that we talked months ago about the affiliate. He explained it all to me. I've forgotten it all now because it's out of my wheelhouse of knowledge of what it means to be unaffiliated now and how it can be better. But to your point, they're not locked. They don't have, those games or programming on the weekend.
I'm out of touch with NBC too. It's been years and years, but I do remember the last one was went into my news director and had a year left, full year left on a contract, a year and change. And she hit me with that. Well, we can get a lot of these sports nationally, which I always love to debate that one when you get it. And I go, well, that's great. You do national stuff. I like to do local stuff here. We're trying to do local stuff here. Everything, high school to all our teams. So no. Well, if it's not a big story, we're going to be cutting you way back. I go, well, you already do. I mean, I get it. Well, you're going to go less than 2 minutes. And so we had this talk, and I knew where she was going. So we'd like to get together with you. The GM and I would like to take you to lunch. I go, I'd prefer not to have lunch with either one of you, but what's going on? So GM comes down. He goes, is that true? You said that? I go, yeah, I don't need to go to lunch with either one of you. What's going on? He goes, well, we're going to let you go. And I go, okay, that's good. I mean, it's fine. Right at 60. And it went from there. But they just cut back.
You got that last year.
Oh, yeah, I got every dime.
Yeah, right.
They asked me if I wanted it before or after the first of the year for tax purposes. They were very nice about it. They're very nice about it.
I was very nice. They were very nice when I got laid off too, Joe. Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, I just want to get every dime. I go, look, give me every dime. Let me do my last Sunday night. And
there's the American dream, a year without working and you get paid, right?
Yeah, it was
and,
great.
and you already had a day job anyway. I never understood how
I
you
had
did.
I had a day job in that and the Dolphin thing, but you're right. It was
you had 3 jobs going.
Doing the games.
I
was lucky. I was very lucky they let me do it. Very lucky.
I don't know how you had any sleep.
You don't. That's why I've got all these pills I take now. The whole anything to do with the heart I take right now. All right. Hey, I want to talk about Super Sure for just a second this morning as we get ready to jump in this 8 o'clock hour. You know, when you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line, handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for that renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risk. That's why I'm introducing Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. SuperSure is a super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus, a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know exactly what you need protected. Go to supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com, paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Bridge service required.
Tobin and Leroy and Hot Crowder and Solana. South Florida sports lives here.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
In Miami, we go to the beach for a little solcito, and when you want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. The Marlins look to end that 9-game skid at 7-10 tonight at Lone Depot Park against the Padres. San Diego's lost 3 of the past 4. Dolphins cornerback Storm Duck and Darrell Baker Jr. have been placed on the physically unable to perform list, heading into veterans returning to camp next week. And the Miami Hurricanes football team will open preseason practice August 4th. A month later, on September 4th, they open the season against Stanford. This weather report is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate. Visit tornadoroofing.com. Rainy, hit or miss around South Florida throughout the rest of the day with temperatures in the 90s. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Feels good to see.
All right, welcome back here for the 8 o'clock hour. We getting all lathered up here. We just watched Messi in the World Cup. He'll be back with Inter Miami here, I'm guessing, the next week or so. And take a little bit of time off after going to the finals, coming up a little bit short in the World Cup.
They won without him, 3-2 against Chicago.
Did
you see that? I saw the clip of that game. The goal.
I didn't see it. I saw everybody talking about it. No.
The defense, how the defense kicks back to the goalie, and they kicked it back to the goalie, and it went right by him into the goal for an own goal against Miami.
And
they still won 3-2. Yeah, you never see that.
Still got it. So I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen with LeBron James, but we got Giannis and we got Bam. Just got me thinking about right now is a good time to look at. I call it 5 teams in town, five professional teams. Some are going to get offended by this. Inter Miami, the Panthers, the Heat, the Dolphins, and the Canes football team.
Ooh, we're running now.
By the way,
we're up and running, aren't we? When you think about that.
Oh, listen, we got some good stuff going on here. I want you to rank right now of all those teams, which team is the best of the group with the best chance to win a championship. Now, Canes got it. That's a tough one because you're talking about a zillion friggin' Division I football programs, including 2 huge conferences you're going to be going against once you get in the playoffs. But saying all that, who'd be number 1 for you? You think Panthers have a better team?
Yes.
Than the Heat?
Yes. I think the Panthers right now, we don't know about LeBron. Are you putting even so, I would say, look, the Panthers have won 2 titles. So we know what they can do, and
we know about the goalies,
and they had they had their off year last year, so they're up rested and ready to go again. So I would put Panthers 1.
So I think Inter Miami's.
Well, I was going to say, I guess
you almost
Panthers are Inter Miami. The Inter Miami is they're being investigated right now for Casemiro. Did they tamper with getting another player? And I say, who cares? I mean, so what?
The Moss family's doing. Listen, Jorge and Jose, man, they're pushing the button, man.
What's the MLS going to do to them?
What are they going to do?
I think
so my gut feeling is while those guys are trying to get the rest of this MLS to get caught up and go get star players, and let's bring more so that everybody's, my team doesn't have to go on the road to fill up your stadium. You can do it on your own, and we can uplift this league that still gets a bad reputation of being a minor league MLS not being there. This guy is like, all right, you don't do it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep pushing it, man.
Well, I assume in this case, Casemiro didn't want to play with the LA Galaxy, or he'd rather play with Miami. And so that, as much as if the investigation finds that Miami was tampering, I'm sure it started with Casemiro saying, I'd rather come and play with Messi than to go to the LA Galaxy. So to your point, your question, yes, Inter Miami, I guess, in their league would have to be number 1, right? But the Panthers are right there with them. They've won twice. So
Well, and we got the Kachuk brothers now. And there's a second part. So 3 is the Heat or the Canes.
Where's UM fit? I mean,
well, Canes football I threw in there because, hell, it's professional football. It's professional football.
We could rank them UM 3, Heat 4.
Student athletes, too.
And if I was betting, I'd
Joe,
take the Heat's odds of winning. If you gave me some odds, like it tells you how good those 4 teams have a chance to win titles right now, assuming LeBron comes here.
Isn't that amazing?
We've got
that's where we are now. Listen, it's not crazy to think that Inter Miami is going to win back-to-back. Panthers could now get everybody healthy and back with Barkov and Kachuk and the Kachuk brothers, the Heat, and hopefully more to come with LeBron, and it's going to bring another good piece with it. And the Canes football with their schedule and their team. I mean, that is going to be a fun watch. That's where we are. Now, when you get the other side of this, let's say LeBron is here. Just throwing it in there. Just playing a little make-believe for now. You got Kachuk, Matthew Kachuk, nothing against his brother, and Barkov. You got LeBron, you got Giannis, and you got Messi. That's a lot of
big names.
A lot of star power there, brother.
From a few years ago, not really having big names in town to now we're inundated with big names. Messi's number 1. Now, are we talking locally big or internationally big?
Come on, man. It doesn't matter. Messi's big.
But it's Messi. You know what? You don't go around town.
There are a lot of people. Everybody knows who Messi is.
I mean, they sell out.
His
jerseys. I know. Okay. All right. Messi's number 1. All right.
I do. You made me work a little bit on that one, though. Maybe LeBron. Everybody.
I was going to say, are we? It depends on what we're talking. Are we talking conversationally popular, or are we talking best in the game? Messi be number 1 regardless, I guess, because he's Messi.
We got a lot of star power. When you start talking, and by the way, the guy that's going to be left out is Barkov, who honestly, at this point, might be better than everybody else at what he does and what they do. He might be better at what he does in hockey than the rest of these guys do in their sport.
Paul Maurice made an interesting comment last year. Is out there after practice, and he said, this is when Barkov was hurt, but he goes, you could make a good case, Barkov's the best player in hockey. And you think about it, first of all, he shuts down the other team's top scorer every year, every playoffs. And then he scores, his offense too. So he's the perfect two-way player. So you could make it, but Giannis is a top 5 player in basketball. Messi is number 1 in soccer, in the MLS.
We got, it's just,
who do you put number 1, Joe? Let's go back. Let me throw the question back at you. Who's the next team to win a title?
Well, the next team to win a title will be Inter Miami. They already won it. They won it. They know how to win. They got a good team. So they're one. I think Panthers and Heat both can have really good records. Really, really good records. That's going to be fun back and forth. And this Canes football team, with their schedule, you and I are sitting here talking about what's coming up early October, going to Clemson. And then got the game at Notre Dame. What's that, December game? I think it was later in the season.
Was it November?
I know
November.
I know it's borderline cold weather. Not super cold, but then you have the playoffs too. So assuming they make the playoffs, I mean, I think we're going to run with that assumption.
Early November. I'm sorry.
Then you have
early November. Okay.
Then you have a run. Then you have a playoff run. You have to have again. But yeah, you could put all 4 of those teams and grab one of them out, and you could argue that they have the best chance to any of them. You could argue
it is for people like all sports. It's going to be a fun watch, and the Canes. With this ACC schedule, I didn't realize they don't play SMU or Louisville, the two teams that beat them last year, who were considered the second and third best teams again this year with Clemson.
In the media rankings, the top team they play would be Clemson, which is the fourth pick to finish fourth in the SEC or the ACC.
Now, that's not going to be easy, and we also know that if they get sloppy with penalties and turnovers, because it happens every year it's happened. I can't remember them going undefeated in the ACC. But I got to tell you, you look at that schedule, if it's ever been set up to go undefeated, I can say, because I don't have to worry about week to week, this would drive Mario nuts. It's this team.
It's a little scary, though, Joe. They have kind of a murderer's row. If you look at it, October 3rd, Clemson. We know Clemson's supposed to be contender. They get a week off, then they get a rivalry game against Florida State. Then they get the Pitt game, we know, with Pat Narduzzi and his grudge against Mario Cristobal. Then you get Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Then you get Notre Dame. Then you get Duke with Manny Diaz. So there's a lot of chances.
Where's the murderer in the murderer's row?
I mean, all these teams have.
You're talking about drama.
Drama. Good.
I didn't know I needed another TV show during the day with the Housewives. I'm already watching the.
Oh, you're watching the Housewives?
Atlanta Housewives is beautiful, man.
Well, then you can watch the Canes during that stretch.
I did watch the LA Housewives a little bit.
I get caught in. I get pulled in a little bit.
They get me, and they look good and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, the Atlanta women, they get after it. And they bring their men in there, and I mean, it's they calling each other names. I'm like, if you just need something, you're looking at me like there's something. Dave, if
you're opening up a new avenue to Joe Rose. I didn't know you watched
Dave,
these shows. I thought
it was just tired. If you're just going home and you just like it's been that kind of day with things going on and the day's been full and you just come home. It's just me and the wife, and she does her own thing. Hell, I don't even know if she's got a boyfriend. She's never home. So I just to sit there and I just go to turn something on, and I don't want sports. I'm good. I want a break from sports. I check, see if LeBron signed. If he didn't, I go, okay. So LeBron didn't sign. So I go right to Housewives. But I prefer the Atlanta Housewives.
There's one called, I think, Rhode Island Housewives now. It's like every the number one show that I've never watched. What's it? Love Island.
I got to tell you.
Watched it.
I got to tell you, another crazy group of housewives is that Utah group, that Mormon group.
Is that sister wives?
It's just one husband and 10 wives, right?
No, it's not. No, but a little wild. I'm guessing the Mormon church not real happy with that show.
They had to go into hiding for a while.
Oh, God, look at this guy. Look at All Day Dandy filling in the blanks in
Joe,
here,
I'm with you, man. Look, you get home, you don't want to think about anything. You don't even feel like changing the channel. It comes on. You start building, kind of a relationship, knowing these people. And you say, all right, I'm in for the Atlanta Housewives.
Calling guys out for being dogs and hitting two of them. I meant not hitting physically, but sexually, and just, oh, my God. Back and forth. Look at you, Dave.
I'm surprised, Joe. You're opening up a new. I thought it was all meat and potatoes here in Mafia.
No, it is.
Mafia
it is.
And,
no, it is. I like the mob stuff.
I like the rom-coms.
How many times can I watch El Chapo though? I just watch it a second time. They get him. He gets out. He's on the run, running out of money. Yeah, those shows are great. Love that stuff. Yeah,
I like mindless.
I wish they come out with.
I like mindless teenage. Movies, like 30 to 13, like someone they switch age with. Those are my mindless things where I'm not pretending they're good, but I don't have to think about anything, Well, maybe I'll watch Atlanta Housewives. We can debate about
it. Stevie.
What about Weston Housewives?
Stevie's a trip, man. You can't ever get rid of Stevie. Oh, God. Doesn't say much, really. Doesn't say much about somebody's life. Really.
Weston Housewives, you don't think?
No, I don't watch Weston Housewives or the East Fort Lauderdale Housewives or Indian Creek Housewives.
Hialeah Housewives
would be a good one. Hialeah might be tough.
Oh, no, those guys be pulling hair and punching the hell out of each other. That'd be a classic. Going to Hialeah? Are you kidding me? The original brothers in Hialeah.
What town would you want? Key West Housewives. What town would you want to?
Oh, that's a great one.
Show in?
I'm trying to think of an area. Here. It's got to be where people want to be seen. A lot of surgeries.
South Beach Housewives.
Well,
there's not many South Beach Housewives.
I got to tell you, the Miami Housewives not bad. That's what's his name's ex-wife's on there? Pippen, Scottie Pippen's wife's on that show. Very attractive woman, I think. Looked, not in our, she likes young guys. Hell, she likes them younger than our sons, David. I mean, she's gonna be young for her. All right, enough of this stuff, man. You got me right off.
Now I'm thinking of Scottie Pippen, the poor guy. He has to watch.
Scotty's doing all right. I think Scotty's got a young girlfriend now too. Not that I've been paying attention on TMZ. Choice Mortgage, man. Mike Okatsi, boy, I'll tell you what. If you need some cash to pay off taxes, liens, judgments, IRS, high interest rates, second mortgages, credit card debt, call Mike Okatsi at Choice Mortgage. This man can get it done. Call or text him 561-441-2730. Man, I need some help. Can you help me out here? And I could really use that second mortgage, get some of that equity out of my home. Matter of fact, if you own a commercial or residential property with equity, you can call Michael right now. He can help you. He's been helping Floridians for over 30 years. All you got to do is call or text him and get right back to you. If you're looking to buy a home today, he'll get you pre-approved with little money down. Now is the time to lock in before interest rates go even higher. Call his cell phone. That's 561-441-2730. This man works 7 days a week. He gets things done half the time of the big banks because he does work on the weekends to get you approved. Again, nobody's going to help you and give you better service and been doing it for as long as Mike Okatsi with 30-plus years. MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change. Days without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by
So I thought it was interesting. He said the people that he's going to be watching, the quarterback, the head coach, and the GM. 3 obviously very important. And we cleaned house on last year, all 3, right? Got rid of all 3 of them. All tied together. And it was interesting, but it's not complete.
And they all know each other. They all,
they've been together.
The GM hired the coach, and together, I'm sure they picked the quarterback. And, so they're all. But that
for sure.
That's the foundation, and we don't know because they're all new in their jobs. New GM, new head coach, new starting quarterback. I mean, he's started games, but he's never come into a franchise as the man.
Oh no, he's the man now.
And so we'll see. I think they're the first things you're going to look at this year. Don't you agree?
Yes, and no matter what, the GM's going to get thrown in during the year if we're looking at a young class of rookies that not doing much. We're going to go, hey, you took 13 guys. That's part of the job. That's what we do. That's exactly. It starts GM picks that the head coach has signed off on and agreed on, and or been sold on by his GM and their staff to the quarterback, and then from there, you start talking about trying to put a system in where you can have some success with first round picks and a lot of the 13. I call them the 21 together. To me, last year's draft with 8 and this year's with 13, it's 21 picks, and we need to find a lot of guys that can play. I could do that starter thing, and you do need to find starter, but you need a lot of guys that can play in your rotation.
I'm just trying to set up how games can go to I think they want to run the ball. They don't have any receivers.
But you still got to throw it.
You got to throw it. So I'm.
And by the way, I'm okay if Tua did it all last year. We dumped off. We dumped passes. And he did. He threw a lot of dump passes. How many times he threw behind the line of scrimmage to Achane and Washington?
It was
those 2 guys alone.
The statistics out of that were crazy out of some games. Over half the passes were dumps.
We went to Dulcich on a lot of short dump routes underneath. And listen, you can move the chains and it's not all bad. I mean, you got to get first downs, but you need splash plays.
I just wonder about the fans right now because we're hearing, and I'm getting it from the optimism at the start of every training camp is so high. Oh, we're gonna have a good team. And I'm getting emails where we'll be better than last year, won't we? And I'm like, no, from a record standpoint, you lost. Now, whatever you thought, I agree. They should. Bradley Chubb, and I understand the Waddle trade.
But Bradley Chubb is your best. If he's on this team, he's the best pass rusher by far.
It's not even close.
And Jalen Waddle is the best receiver by far. And he's one of the reasons I think Denver can be the team to beat in the AFC.
But I understand with the Dolphins why they don't have those players. Bradley Chubb, expense and age and injury don't fit the rebuild. Waddle, they got a first and a third. Are you kidding me? I get that. Now, Chris Johnson
better be good.
The first round pick they got for him. So, but they're not going to be as good as last year.
Can I just say this? In a really good year from right now to next year at this time, hopefully I'm still working, to be able to say Willis ended up being a really good quarterback and Jeremiah Smith looks really good in a Dolphins uniform. Now, I don't even know if he's going to be in the draft next year, but I know he's going to be in it. He's going to be 3 and done. And anybody that's lived down here and is aware of Jeremiah Smith, who went to Chaminade Madonna, he is something special. He is one of the biggest wide receivers in college football. He's a big guy. Hell, he's 215, 220 in high school. I don't know how big he is now, but he's a total package. He had a good game against the Hurricanes. Not everybody did, but he had a pretty good game. Didn't he go over 100 yards?
Yeah, he had good games against whoever he wanted. Look, I have a hard time looking at the Dolphins' schedule, looking at who they are and saying, how are they not picking in the top 3? And Vegas has them odds-on favorite, them in Arizona to be the top pick. And I agree with that. I just don't see how with what they're doing, and I agree with what they're doing. I understand it.
Just go out and develop players and stay competitive. I mean, last thing you want to do is, we mentioned this, I know it's been brought up 1,000 times already, going back to 2019. Those teams got beat up the first 4 weeks. I mean, that was 59-10, 43-0 in week 2, 31-6 in week 3, and 30-10 in week 4, on your way to losing your first 7 games. And then they finished 5-4 in the last 9. So
look, the Dolphins their easiest game might be the first game, the Raiders.
That might be a game that you say, hey man, we got to get this.
We look pretty
one.
good. It's who all you people saying they don't have an edge rusher or a cornerback. No, they look pretty good. They look fine. But then you're going to go against step up in class as the season goes on.
I'm glad you brought up the pass rush. So I think most people think the edge rusher might be the biggest problem we have. And if it's full of some empty positions right now where we don't know what we have. But that one's, if they realize they don't have a pass rush with a 4-man pass rush and they got 2 guys outside the can, they're fine inside. Zach Sealer going to be fine. They're going to have to do some creative stuff. This is where that defensive staff's going to have to do some creative stuff to get pressure. I know, and with pressure leaves big plays behind them.
I was going to say,
I can read your eyes.
They can get as creative as they want, but it's not like the secondary is going to be buying them time to get to the quarterback. You know, that's an issue too. Can Chris Johnson step in and be a number 1 cornerback? That's asking a lot of a rookie picked 30th in draft. Now, if he's a top 3 pick like Darryl Stingley in Houston or
who's one of the 2 or 3 best corners.
Yeah, and
Surtain Jr., those guys are.
But they're picked.
High picks.
Top, I think Surtain 10th over. They're top 10 picks in the draft as opposed to the end of the. So the expectations are different. So the Dolphins have so many holes at impactful positions that. And again, I say that you can have 2 thoughts. They're doing things the right way, but it's not going to be a fun ride this year.
No, there's going to be some black and blue marks in this season. There is. And there's going to be days where you get up Monday morning and you're just pissed. You watch the game.
These coaches don't know what they're doing.
Correct.
Malik Willis, how could they invest in him?
Oh, he's going to be a target. And he's not going to play great every game. And he's going to have bad plays. And he's going to have plays that probably going to hurt him into winning games. But you know what? They got to stick with the course, man. They can't, and they need to understand and be thick-skinned over there and go, we understand a lot of this frustration right now has to do with things that happened before we got here. It's just a fact. And some of the mess is not their fault. Some of the mess is in.
Well, they're again, I throw out this every time we talk about it. I think they're spending 38 cents on the dollar. Their salary, their roster costs 38 cents because of the salary.
I never hear one fan bring it up.
It's not a fun conversation to have. It's no fun to talk about the salary cap, right?
No, nobody wants to if the guy's good, they just want you to get it done. It's like the NBA. They're like, I don't want to hear about we're running out of money. Just get the guys. Get them. Pat, find them. Get them. That's the way it is, right? And they're going, hey, your goalie wants too much money. Just get them. Get it done somehow. Get rid of some other guys. Just get it done. Because fans don't want to hear about the stuff. You know, we do all these breakdowns, and I'm not saying all fans. Some fans like to be educated on this stuff, but a lot of fans just want to watch the game. I don't want to hear about why this guy's got to play because we couldn't afford the other guy. That's your job to get it done and figure it out. So, yeah. Anyway.
But I think at this time next year.
You did tell me, and I agree, and everybody else saying the same thing.
But I think at this time next year, this is not going to be like before where, remember, when they rebuilt in 2019, they didn't get to the draft picks till 2020. These guys were on a quick schedule. They got their draft picks started this year. They're up and running. I think by this time next year, we'll know, okay, where are they? Because they'll have filled in whatever holes. We'll know, have a better read on Malik Willis. We'll know Halfley and his staff. What do they like?
A lot of free agent money, too.
Yes.
All right, Dave. we got to go to break. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk's going to join us early 9 o'clock hour. We'll talk to Mike and everything as we get set. The unknown of what are we walking into next week at Dolphins training camp. Well, we got a pretty good idea. Hey, summer is here, man. Summer is here, and Dr. Barry's team at Recovery Unplugged has your back. They just want to let you know that if you are going through some mental health issues right now, it happens, man. Guys get off the road. Women go through some stuff, loss of marriage, marriages break up, lose jobs, things just all of a sudden, things used to be able to figure out and jump back on the road, and you could figure it out, and your buddies helped you. And now all of a sudden, it's not going away, and you're in a real funk. Well, their mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is a private, comfortable space to heal with music-based care that hits the right note every time. They accept most major insurance plans. Call 954-737-4508. If you're going through it right now, man, just down this summer, let's get you back to the way you used to feel. Visit recoveryunplug.com. Get more information. Dr. Barry and his staff are unbelievable. So good. They've been through it themselves, and they know how to do it. They got a great staff. It's private. It's healthy. It's really a good experience spending some time over there. This summer, if you get a chance, you're going through it or you have a friend going through it, make sure you check them out. That's Recovery Unplugged, 954-737-4508, or visit recoveryunplug.com. This summer, heal out loud.
WQAM brought
All right, welcome back and a good morning to everybody. Happy Friday as Marlins, man. Got to get it rolling. Got to get it rolling tonight with the Padres in town for the first of 3 games. Trade deadline 9 or 10 days away.
It's a good game for it because Padres have lost 5 of 7 out of the on their run. So Marlins have lost.
Oh yeah, they've been a big disappointment too. So anyway, Marlins are 2 back in the wild card. The problem is there's a whole bunch of teams that have now come back for that third. I think there's 5 teams, a couple of games back of the last wild card position of the 3. And so then let me ask you, you spoke to the owner. You spent time
in the spring.
Okay, but here we are. This is the time, and I don't know where they're going to be in 10 days. Hell, they could be a little bit over. They could be a little bit under at the trade deadline. If they're within a few games, does he do something or?
Well, I think you only do something if it's not just for this season. I mean, it'd have to be something that, because they're building, right? You don't go out and get a veteran just to help this season. Now, if you got a young guy, you can make a trade and it makes sense for the next 3 or 4 years, then you would do something. But is there that third baseman out there? They need a third baseman. Is a late reliever out there because they got problems closing out games.
Yeah.
Somebody like, now, I guess a reliever, you could go out and get a stopgap. But
I'll tell you what, Lil Sanoja's played everywhere. He's done a nice job as a utility guy.
He's been exactly what
center,
they hoped, right?
Right field. We've seen him in left field. We've seen him at third base a lot. That's been his main position. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they've had a lot of third basemen injured, number one, and number two, I'm not sure how happy they were with what they had at third base. The other one that's a tough one, what do you do with your center fielder who was so good a year ago, hit 290, and this year Marcy he struggled. He's hitting 192, I think.
Well, it sure looks what they're going to do is they benched him against a right. He hits left-handed. They benched him against a right-handed pitcher the other night for the first time all year.
But that doesn't help his confidence. So
well,
what
at this point, it's
do?
not when you're losing games. When you're winning games, and you can say, okay, work your way out of it. But here it's been all season. Now you're losing
over
games.
100 games,
and
right.
And McCullough talked the other night about Cruz, the guy who started in center field, how good he was, how important, how much they like him, the spark he brings. In other words, you could probably expect to see more Cruz coming up. So we'll see.
Well, they're just going to go with the hot guys that they have. I think Conine going to continue to get more playing time.
He should, yeah.
He's been good. Casey's going to be coming back. I saw the time of off injured reserve. These guys will be all coming back from these injuries, and so they're going to get some guys back. It's just, boy, I didn't see a 9-game losing streak coming with. And you're right. This is a chance to get healthy, and then the Padres, and you're going against the Phillies, who have had a nice season, had some tough losses to the Dodgers, just played the best team. So they'll be in town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I believe. So,
yeah, I saw Jordan McPherson, the Herald, had a story of the problem. And I didn't realize this. They were averaging 4.2 runs all season, and this stretch they're averaging like 2 runs less.
Yeah,
and so there's problem number one.
They everything was going right, and during that winning streak that they had and the great play in June and July, but they're getting a lot of their 1, 2, and 3 pitchers, even 4. They were getting great pitching, but they're hitting home runs. It was just they're playing better defensively, and it seems like everybody cooled off at the same time, and it's just been a little frustrating. So hopefully they get things rolling a little bit here starting tonight, and then of course they got more stuff tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday if you want to get out to the ballpark. So we have all that. We got LeBron James watch going on here, man. Giannis and Bam apparently in LeBron's ear. Come on, man, and join us. You're the piece. You're the piece we're missing. We got everything we need. We're going to D it up, man. We got the look of what you need, starting with us and working down. And Wiggins and Mitchell, Portis.
I'm starting to feel for the NBA experts. Every day they got to come up with something to say about LeBron on
funny.
TV, and there's nothing
It is
left
funny.
to say. There's nothing
Yeah.
to say. What do you?
The podcasters, everybody. It's like, what
Now we're down to, well, maybe he's waiting for a trade, some team to make a trade to help him out. Or meanwhile, his agent said, no, we're not. There's no moves are necessary by any team. We know we're not waiting for that. We're just waiting for LeBron to.
I think LeBron doesn't. What he's saying is, I don't need everybody to call me, and what else do you need? And he's aware of everything. He doesn't need to be stroked anymore. You're a LeBron James.
He's 41.
Yeah.
He's 41. He knows the league. He knows the players. He knows the franchise.
He knows where he is at this point in his career too, and what he can and can't do, and how much heavy lifting. Listen, he still wants to be a star. Don't get me wrong.
Well, he still is a star.
He doesn't want to come off the bench
no,
there. You know,
well,
we see the guys in the last year at the end of the bench playing a few minutes occasionally. That's not him.
But he's too good for that still. I mean, his game says I can still be a star.
You know
Not
what
every
tells
night,
me?
but
His dunks. Some of the dunks that I saw him do last year. And again, I know he's not 5'10", but my God, he's still athletic. Just can't do it every night. 41, sometimes your body says, I don't know if I know how I feel. And the old tennis ball finds my feet a lot. Sometimes it feel like it can't find me, and I'm going, man, I'm moving great. And then next day I'm like, what the hell happened? It's gone.
My birthday's coming up. Someone asked me what I want for my birthday. I said to be able to dunk again.
Long time ago.
I never could dunk. So.
Oh, you couldn't?
An 8-foot rim.
Oh, yeah. That used to be the thing, man. How fast was your 40? Can you dunk it? I was thinking of all the things when you were a kid that everybody wanted to know, hey, you can't dunk it, and you can't.
How fast is your fastball?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
How hard could you throw it, right? Yeah.
Used to go to the fair, and they had that speed throw. And what speed and how hard.
The radar.
Nobody'd warm up and just rip it and throw it as hard as you can. And, yeah, that was funny. All right. Hey, listen, we've got the 9 o'clock hour coming. Mike Florio is going to join us as we get ready to go and talk a little bit about a lot of news in the NFL. I got to tell you, man, you know who's giving us a lot of stuff to talk about? He's a guy who lives down here in South Florida. Tom Brady. And we all seem interested. Like, you consider him the greatest quarterback of all time?
Yes.
Okay. You consider him the greatest football player of all time, maybe, from what he's done?
Considering the greatest quarterback has to be the greatest football player in my mind, just because of the impact on the game.
I don't think a lot of people can argue. Maybe we'll argue the greatest player of all time, but definitely if it's about stats and wins and championships, it's Tom Brady. He has found a way. He's doing things that if you step back, we're going to talk to Mike Florio about this. If you just step back, everything he's involved with, he got ownership and he got a sweetheart deal. His 3 or 4% worth a lot more. They got a sweetheart deal to the point the other owner said, what'd he pay for that again? He's got that. He's got $275 million contract with Fox to be their number one team, making more than anybody. He's got his own production company that does documentaries and does a lot of different things. He's got a card business. His cards alone are worth stupid money for what he's done. He's got those all over. And his Tom Brady products, health products, because I see my daughter bought
avocado
protein
juice or whatever.
No, he's got a lot. He's just got a lot of stuff going on. And now he's goofing around. I thought it was a bad look, just me personally, watching him flip another guy off and shoving a guy. I'm like, you're friggin' Tom Brady. He's nobody. Like, what are you doing, man? And then I see an article comes out that says, oh, no, he's working on something to get a piece of WWE. And I'm like, it's amazing.
Well, it started with the roast last year, didn't it? And he goes, what is this roast? And it was
I don't know.
bizarre.
I would love to know if he'd like to have that roast back.
Okay, but these things he's getting. This is like the Logan Paul flipping each other off in public.
Like Logan Paul.
Mean, it's this mock fake.
Logan Paul's not you, man. Logan
rivalry.
Paul's never going to be Tom Brady.
But he's trying to do something to his image, I guess.
What?
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Being Tom Brady's okay.
All he has to do is be Tom Brady the rest of it.
He
wants something. He wants something though. I mean, is it
Yeah.
just money from WWE?
Oh, no, listen, he loves his money. God bless him. It's like we love our money, he loves his money too.
Maybe he has an option to buy more of the Raiders, and he's trying to make more.
I don't know. But anyway, it's a really interesting topic. We'll talk to Mike Florio about that. Atlantic Men's Clinic, ED and Low T. Well, I'll tell you what, man, having it sucks to go through it. It happens, though, and it happens to every guy out there. That did make me feel better when I went to Atlantic Men's Clinic. I didn't know. Not every guy's going to go through this, Joe. Low T is going to happen to every guy, and ED is going to happen too, no matter what every guy tells you, no matter what age. At some point, things just don't work. Your energy level is shot, your sex drive is gone, and you got to make some adjustments. And some guys don't do real well with that. When the wife's still looking good or that young girlfriend of yours is looking really hot, and all you can do is take that blue pill, man, with that headache after a couple of drinks. That's the best you can do. Man, if you're ready to turn back the clock and start feeling better, having more energy for better vacations and being able to chase that beautiful wife of yours around, you can do it with Atlantic Men's Clinic. It happens fast, and I love the way they do it. It's real simple. They got 7 locations in South Florida to serve you, a brand new location in Hollywood. I go to Plantation on my way there today after the show. 877-455-7300. Set up that first appointment. It's the most important appointment. Yeah, you meet with their professional staff. You get the testing, the PSA test, and then they put a program together for you, and the results are fast. The results are fast, man. You'll start noticing a difference real quickly and start feeling great. Unbelievable. I know. It's been 2.5 years. It's truly unbelievable. Thank you, Atlantic Men's Clinic. Again, go to AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. Get more information, man. It works.
League Cup champion Florida Panthers, the three-time NBA champion Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes basketball, and now the new home of the two-time World Series winner Miami Marlins.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. The Marlins look to end a 9-game skid tonight, 7-10, Lone Depot Park against the Padres. The Dolphins cornerback Storm Duck and Darrell Baker Jr. have been placed on the PUP list heading into camp next week. Also, Miami Heat great Glenn Rice going to be inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame's class of 2026. The guard played collegiately at Michigan. Inter Miami play in Montreal tomorrow at 7:30. And reports are that the Protect College Sports Act will not be voted on by the Senate before Congress takes a recess in August. On to weather. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. It is going to be around 90 degrees today. Spotty showers, but as it gets later in the night, should have more of a chance of rain. I am Dan Day. Now back to the Joe Rose Show here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
All right, welcome back, and a good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. Bad news for college football. The Wild West continues. Nothing getting voted on. Yeah. All right, here we go. One more year before they get back to that and try to figure some things out as the SEC apparently is saying the Big Ten will follow them if they threaten to leave, although I think everybody's just barking right now.
The SEC is speaking for the Big Ten now, huh?
Well, listen, two most powerful guys in college football by far, the Big Ten commissioner and the SEC commissioner.
I get it, but they need the rest of the world, too.
They do.
They just can't
do
off
it
and
by
run on their
yourself.
own and say, we're going to have the
You get 19, we'll get 19, 30-18 championship. Well, it is kind of like, they're going to say it's kind of like pro sports, right? 30-something teams.
How's the SEC done in the last couple of years, though?
They're tired
not
of
nearly
that.
as well as they think they are.
So I heard the answer to that about the Big Ten's kind of controlling things, Indiana, Michigan,
and Miami.
Miami's
Miami's put their hat in the ring.
So
too.
they're going, no, we're still. Well, who's got a better conference right now? They go, no, we're better than the Big Ten. We believe one through the end of it, we're still the strongest by far conference in, and they probably are. If you look it up, they probably are. You start looking at 1 through 5 or 6, and I see Georgia's favored again. Indiana's got another great team, and probably going to be there at the top again, even though their quarterback is now playing
Let's
with
look
Las
at the
Vegas.
bowl records from last year since we're on this topic, okay? Big Ten, 11-5. Could that be? Could they play that many bowl games? They did. SEC, by comparison, 4-10. 4-10 last year. So don't sit there and say, "Oh, we're the deepest conference." Okay. They're good. I'm not dismissing them, but sometimes
Alabama lost early in the playoffs. They got knocked out. Indiana knocked the crap out of them. Yeah, actually.
ACC went 9-5, and mainly because of Miami's run.
Okay. Actually, the best story is Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss ended up having a hell of a run and went through the whole drama with their coach leaving to go to LSU.
He apologized, so all's good.
He did. He apologized.
Lane
he said
Kiffin
he's sorry about that. And they're good friends. He and the coach, his former defensive coordinator, now head coach, they're all good friends. They all care about each other. Yeah. Man, I hope they get it worked out. But you know what? Once those games start, I have learned, when you're watching the Canes go through the playoff run, were you thinking about money at all? The answer is no.
No, that's the great thing. The games are the games.
Nobody cares.
It's like when the World Cup came, no one was talking about there was some talk of price of tickets, but not nearly as much as before.
I heard a lot about Carson Beck's money. He's the only guy. It probably heard more about Carson Beck's money than any other guy in college football because he left Georgia to come here.
Yeah, well, he's taking a pay cut going to the NFL. That's sort of the state of college football, right?
Yeah, he did. You're right. Hey, by the way, we got more in the NFL. You know what? You never want to be that team that gets that bad injury and lose a guy like when camp starts right off the bat. And right now, guess what? Carolina got the first bad news. Nick Scorton, the pass rusher, really good player, outside linebacker, ACL. And you know what? Guys are going to get hurt. I sat out there and watched guys get hurt last year and ended up out for the season. And by the way, it was cornerbacks. We were dropping. Remember last year we had cornerbacks dropping right and left there, signing veterans who ended up being good players. By the way, did a nice job for them. But
the first thing when I heard the Carolina injury was that, okay, Jalen Phillips has a bigger spotlight on him. The former Dolphins signed there, big contract signed there.
Those
I always liked him. If he just hadn't got injured, I thought he had a chance to be really good.
He did. And the year that he hurt his Achilles, he was having a great game and a great season. And, he just got hit 2 years in a row with the bug, stayed healthy last year. By the way, just you saw the money he got. Says all you need to know on how good they think he can be if he stays healthy, and he's still a young guy. So, we're going to take a break here. Mike Florio is going to join us. We're going to try to keep him a little bit longer because we got so much stuff going on here with camp and all the news. By the way, it's kind of funny. We haven't talked much about it. Aaron Rodgers is definitely been off season last couple years. Topic. He finally, after 10 plus years, I guess, has made up with his family. He hasn't talked to his mom, dad, any of the family at all, for whatever it was worth. I got a little different take on it. Mike talked about it, and it's good to let things go. It's true. It is true, especially family. At some point, let it go, bro, we call it. Let it go, bro. It's your mom and dad. It is. It's your mom and dad. And the things that he was complaining about, religious beliefs growing up and stuff's not enough for you not to talk to your mom and dad. I don't agree with everything with my parents when they were alive. My mother was alive. We had disagreements on things in life, and they were going to the Catholic way. And I wasn't aboard on all of it. I don't know if, Dave, you went through some of that stuff. You go through different beliefs, political beliefs in your family, as you know.
Yeah, a lot of political. But we always talked.
Well, you just can't. You can get in a disagreement and not talk to each other for a few minutes, but and this went on for 10 years, man. And so he made up. He took pictures with everybody and sent them out. To picture with mom and dad. I thought it was cool that that's a long time. It's a long time.
10 years. Can you imagine not talking to family? I
His,
have a hard time.
And his brother and his nephew, I see him making toys with his nephew or his niece, and
was his wife in the pictures?
No, she was not
wasn't
there.
In the pictures. Okay.
Well, Woody brought that up. Did they get to meet the wife? And I go, no, she couldn't make the trip. She was big. And the other brother that does college football, apparently he's still on the crap list too. He's not in the picture. So he's doing better though. He's come a long way. Anyway, we got a lot of good stuff to talk to Mike Florio about coming up in just a minute. But first, want to tell you about your South Florida Chevy dealers this weekend. If you're looking for a truck, well, hell, car, SUV, or truck, but the truck family, we don't take a back seat to anybody. We like to call our cleanup hitter at your South Florida Chevy dealers. Wait until you see the truck family. Great deals. I hope you have some time to get to one of the 14 dealerships. Hope you have a chance to take a test drive and then sit down and get a great deal. Because we are loaded down with trucks right now. The Colorado custom to the ZR2, right over to Silverado trucks. I always tell everybody, you got the custom Trail Boss. We got Silverado EV. We got 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices for you, so you can get exactly what you need when it comes to strength, durability, efficiency. We got that truck for you, man. Whether it's a Chevy Silverado HD, choose from the powerful LTZ with premium style and substance to match, or go to the biggest one, the Chevy Silverado HD High Country. We got truck absolutely perfect for you and your family, working lifestyle, and everything else. So for the best in Florida life with a truck, Chevy's got a Florida truck for you. Visit this weekend. If you've got time, stop by. You'll be blown away with the trucks we have. Go to your South Florida Chevy dealers this weekend. Together, let's drive.
The
Casino at Dania Beach has it all. Enjoy new exciting promotions, the hottest slots, great shows, multiple dining options, live poker, and simulcast. Plus, new members can win up to $5,000 in free play. Join the fun at the Casino at Dania Beach.
All right, welcome back here on a Friday. Well, I'll tell you what, Mike's been coming on with us. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk for a long, long time. And the guy doesn't miss shows, man. I got to give it to him as he joins us this morning as we get ready. We're in rookie camp. Veterans, some have already reported. The Dolphins next week will report as we say good morning to Mike. And, God, Mike, we got a lot of stuff. I got to tell you, I like your Aaron Rodgers stuff. I wanted to start with that because I grew up in a town right next to Aaron Rodgers. And we both went to the same school. It's been interesting. And my family, some of them know his family, his father, and had nothing but great things to say about him. And he finally, after all these years, as crazy as the story is, I don't know if it's our business or not, but 10 plus years. And he takes a picture after all these years with mom, dad, and his brother and his nephew and niece. I thought it was pretty cool, too.
Well, for high-profile athletes in a high-profile sport, everything becomes our business. And when the athlete chooses to put the photos out there after it's already well known and firmly established that there's been estrangement, that makes it fair game. And as a threshold matter, I think it's a very good thing for anyone to have a solid relationship with their immediate family members. I know in some situations it's impossible. In a lot of situations it's not. It's just stubbornness. And the people involved in the family, they build a wall. The wall's there. Nobody wants to be the one to make the first move to put a sledgehammer to the wall. And when somebody does, you can get everybody back together again. Life's too short for a lot of things. It's definitely too short to not have a strong relationship with your family, because beyond your family, who do you really have? Your friends will scatter under certain circumstances. Your family, in theory, won't. And I think it's an encouraging sign at a deeper level, because it shows that Aaron Rodgers is in a stage in his life where he's reflecting, he's changing. And I think it's encouraging as it relates to the renewed relationship with Mike McCarthy, because it didn't end well with McCarthy and Rodgers in Green Bay. If you look at Tyler Dunn's reporting, he was at Bleacher Report at the time. There was a lengthy article that made it clear there was real tension, if not acrimony, between Rodgers and McCarthy a decade ago. And if Rodgers is putting things in the rearview mirror and looking for ways to build bridges, he'd put anyone who ran afoul of whatever it was, whatever that line was, he'd put them on the island. It was explained in the biography that Ian O'Connor put out a couple of years ago. You end up on the island, you're cut off forever from Aaron Rodgers. It's good he's getting past that. And it suggests that this last year, he's really looking into the mirror, making changes that he thinks he needs to make. It's good for him, it's good for his family, and it's good for the Steelers in a roundabout way.
Another one off the football field right now, and it's another quarterback. It's been really interesting. He lives down here now, Tom Brady. And just watching everything from his production companies doing great. I know a lot of people, the documentaries, the card business, his cards are valuable. He's got card stores. He got a $275 million contract with Fox to do their games as a number one analyst. He's got Raider ownership as well. And some have said that little percentage is worth a ton of money. And all the things we talk about. And I got to tell you, I'm liking like a lot of people, and you see the World Cup finals, and he's flipping off Logan Paul, and they're slapping each other at the Fanatics. And my first thought was the same thing. Like, wait a sec, dude, you're Tom Brady. You might be the greatest you are the greatest quarterback and maybe the greatest player of all time. Mike, that's up for debate, but what are you doing, man, with this WWE thing? That was my take on it. And I get it. There may be business ties in with this somewhere, but what was your take on in the picture, him flipping off Logan Paul, who, I'm not a Logan Paul fan, but what were your thoughts?
Well, not that I have an issue with the middle finger. Chris Sims, who I've been with for nearly 10 years now, has completely desensitized me to the idea of firing off the middle finger anywhere and everywhere. But this just feels cheesy and hokey. It's all aiming toward Brady somehow, some way, presumably at WrestleMania, which is going to be in Saudi Arabia next year, taking on Logan Paul. Dan Patrick thinks it's going to be Brady and Gronk against the two Paul brothers at WrestleMania, whatever number it's going to be. And it does feel beneath Tom Brady. So the people who believe this are complimenting him in a roundabout way, like, Tom, this, number one, you don't need to do this. And he's written in his newsletter about finding balance in his life. And then he's constantly looking for more ways to stretch the rubber band, whether he's trying to chase paychecks, whether it's just a midlife crisis run amok, it's just insecurity on top of insecurity. He feels compelled to be everywhere and do everything. And I've thought all along that he and Peyton Manning are in a very, very cold war to see who can make the most money to own an NFL team, not part of one, all of one. And you look at what the franchise values are becoming. I don't think those guys are ever going to have the kind of money necessary to write the check for 30% of the purchase price of an NFL team, because as they keep making more money, the price for a team keeps going up exponentially. I don't think he's ever going to catch that chicken. And it dawned on me, and this was prompted by a question I got from a PFT reader, if it isn't madness, what's the method to it? And that's when the light flickered. And look, this would have sounded crazy 15 years ago. How can you get into politics with no political experience whatsoever? But I started to poke around and see what's out there, and I tripped over an article from a few years back where Sam Bankman-Fried, who's now incarcerated after the collapse of FTX, but he and Brady were pretty close friends. Brady was caught up in that whole FTX thing. He still is in the litigation in the aftermath of the collapse of the company. But Sam Bankman-Fried wanted Brady to run for president in 2024 on the Republican side against the current president. So when you try to make sense of something that seems nonsensical, maybe it's as simple as expanding his appeal, finding a new potential base of voters who will get behind the idea of Brady trying to run for president. I mean, the guy's clearly got huge aspirations. And if he wants to do it, it's his business. My point is, there's two ways to look at this. It's just goofy, and there's no plan, and he's just out there doing whatever he feels like doing, no matter how hokey and corny and goofy it seems, or he's got a bigger play that he's not going to talk about, because that's the other side of it. If you really want to do politics right, you don't talk about it until it's time to pull the pin on the grenade. And so that's on my radar screen now. At what point will Tom Brady possibly pivot and decide it's time to get into politics? And I'm going to be looking for any and every potential sign to suggest he's moving in that direction.
All right, let's get to a story that makes sense. Fernando Mendoza signs his contract, a quarterback that you can understand what's going on here. Now, on your site, profootballtalk.com, I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but you said that it'll play into the decision to play him. And I'm just curious, the Dolphins open against the Raiders, possibly against
fully
Mendoza.
Guaranteed a lot of money.
Yes. So how does that move towards the playing field for him?
Well, first of all, you got to be under contract or you're not going to be practicing. I think that the description that was attached to the video I did yesterday didn't properly convey what I was saying. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. That happens from time to time. There are two separate things here. Yes, you got to get the guy signed, and there aren't many things to haggle over at this point when it comes to the rookie draft pick contracts, because the amount is known. There are some things like cash flow and guarantees and voids and all of that come into play, but they finally got it done, which is good. The thing that I'm going to be fascinated by is whether and to what extent there's a competition, or will there even be a competition? Albert Breer of SI.com had something earlier this week suggesting that they're just going to sprinkle Mendoza in with the first team during training camp. And that would be a way to keep a competition from happening if they're truly intent on keeping him on the bench this year, or at least for the start of the season. And I know that worked with Patrick Mahomes 9 years ago in Kansas City, but they had a perennial playoff team. The Raiders need to get the best guys ready and on the field. And if there's any hint in that sprinkling of reps that Mendoza gets, if he makes the absolute most out of those, and the other members of the starting offense are like, holy crap, how do you hold the guy back? And look, I think Kirk Cousins has been very good. He's been an excellent businessman. That's without question over the course of his career. But he's got one playoff win since entering the NFL in 2012. And he's 37. And he really hasn't been the same guy since the Achilles tendon blew out at Lambeau Field in the 2023 season. If the first overall pick in the draft can't beat out Kirk Cousins at this point in Cousins' career in an open competition, then maybe you drafted the wrong guy. So I feel like they're deliberately putting a restrictor plate on Mendoza's ability to compete because they know if it's a competition, he'll win it, and they'll have to go with him. And whatever I understand, the reason, and you can talk it all day long. And Clint Kubiak, the new coach, seems to like this idea of letting Mendoza learn by watching, but I'm a firm believer in learning by playing because the game doesn't begin to slow down from the sideline. The game starts to slow down when you're out there. Now, you don't want to ruin the guy. I remember Giovanni Carmazzi, one of the Brady Six. He was taken in the third round by the 49ers back in 2000. Steve Mariucci believes that Carmucci's experience in the Hall of Fame game that year, coincidentally against Brady's Patriots, ruined him. So you don't want to ruin a guy by throwing him out there too early. But again, if the guy's going to get ruined in an exhibition game, he shouldn't have been the first overall pick in the draft. So I just don't understand why a team like the Raiders that hasn't won a playoff game since the year they went to the Super Bowl, 2002, they've been to the playoffs only twice since then. Why are you not opening this up and getting this kid ready and getting him out there? And yeah, he may take some lumps this year, but I think back to Troy Aikman, his rookie year at the Cowboys. They were horrible. And what did it do? It laid the foundation for Aikman to become the guy he became. And that's the trend now in the NFL. It's not let the guy sit. It's a 1 year at a time league. Let him compete. And if he wins, let him play. So I feel like it's a rigged non-competition aimed at keeping Mendoza down for a year when he could be, if he had a full chance, the better option and he should be the better option between himself and Kirk Cousins.
And they open against the Miami Dolphins on the road. I mean, at home. They'll be at home, and he's, of course, that's his hometown team. Yeah, it would be nice to see him in that situation if he could start. Hey, finally, I got to ask, I thought it was great. The NFL and ESPN relationship now, NFL owns 10% of ESPN, and how some of these topics like Brian Flores and this whole lawsuit is going to be handled. It's going to be really interesting. There's so many parts. I could go an hour with you, Mike, on this, and I know it's your background. What's going to happen with Brian Flores? Is there a chance they offer him a bunch of money, and he just says, I'm done. I got my money now. I brought it up to everybody. It's not fair. The Rooney Rule doesn't work, but I got mine, or does he stay in the fight?
That case was filed February 1 of 2022. We're 4.5 years into it, and it is still stuck at square one. Just last week, the federal judge presiding over the case, in response to the NFL's latest effort to try to get her to reconsider a decision she'd already reconsidered and it had been appealed, this whole question of whether or not they're going to be in open court or in the NFL's what I call secret rigged kangaroo court of arbitration, where they try to put any claim against them. They want to get out of the courts. They want to have a forum where it's tilted in their advantage, and they want to keep everything secret. When it's in open court, there's a lot of stuff that gets filed, and eventually there's going to be a trial that is going to be in an open courtroom, and reporters are going to be there hearing all the evidence. And this is the through line that I saw from the ESPN item earlier this week about the frustrations that minority coaches have when it comes to the Rooney Rule, how it applies, how it's used. You just check boxes, and it's a sham interview, and they have some tangible examples of it. But the only way the NFL is ever going to change its ways, and I know there will be people, including the Attorney General of your state, that would like to debate the merits of that. There is no debate when you look at the statistics and the raw numbers over the years. And Troy Vincent, the executive VP of football operations, he said things publicly that made it into Brian Flores' original complaint that basically admits they've got a problem. The only way the problem is going to be addressed and solved is if it's hashed out at a trial after they've questioned owners, reviewed documents, cobbled a case together, and then the NFL has to take a verdict on it. And win or lose, all that stuff that comes out could be enough to get the NFL to finally come up with meaningful changes, because the Rooney Rule hasn't done it. No amount of public scrutiny or pressure does it, because you know what they do? You have a hiring cycle, and like this past year, 10 openings, no black coaches were hired for any of the openings. The commissioner offers up the standard response at the Super Bowl press conference, and then it just dies down, and it's lather, rinse, repeat year after year after year. Nothing is going to change behavior like the NFL going to trial and losing. So that's why that case is important. And to land the plane on the question you asked, At some point, they will start throwing money at it. And at some point, even if you say, there's no way I'm settling this case, at some point, there's going to be a number that you're going to look at and you're going to say, hey, Jim Trotter had to talk about the sale. Jim Trotter had the audacity while he was working for the NFL through NFL Network to ask the commissioner questions at 2 straight Super Bowl press conferences about diversity in the newsroom. And his contract was not renewed, and they didn't have an arbitration clause in his contract, and he had them on the run. And the next thing you know, and I thought he was going to see it all the way through to the end. The next thing you know, the case is over and he's retired. And, the part of the settlement, I believe, funds scholarships. And so, you can do some good with a settlement.
Right.
But you also, there's a number out there where principle is going to take a back seat. And the question is, will Flores hold firm? And he seems wired to say at the end of the day, nope, because there is something bigger at play here. And if it doesn't get resolved through this case, I don't think it ever will.
Yeah. Interesting. Still defensive coordinator as the Dolphins will see Minnesota this year as well. Hey, Mike, thank you, brother. Really appreciate you coming on as always. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. My God, crazy stuff. Hey, we got to go to break here. We've got a lot more stuff to get to as we continue on, so stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Well,